Right, good evening. I hope you guys can hear me. This is the second podcast on the channel. Once again, it's me hosting and producing. I'm joined tonight by Purespam, Westham, PoisonedPotion, Tedious. I'm... sorry, I can't stop reading chat. I'm mildly... I lead all of the kind of old school stuff over at Method. We have like a lot to talk about tonight, but before we get into talking about... who knows what we'll talk about? Maybe the rebalancing changes for 3 hours. How's everyone doing? Well, as if we've not been sitting in Discord for 2 hours beforehand. But
great.
How we doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, pretty chill.
Yeah.
Doing
Nice
good,
to
thank
see
you.
everyone. Chatting to everyone again. It's been pretty fun hanging out before the podcast.
Yeah, what's everybody been up to in the last few weeks?
Not playing.
Start with you.
Yeah.
Mr. Offline.
I've been in bed a lot of it. I've not been doing much, to be honest. Been watching a few streams and following the recent news and the media and just in general, taking a bit of time away. But yeah, that's me.
Well, I've been pretty busy with moving into my new apartment and getting all the furniture and stuff, but right now we've got everything, so yeah, chilling, streaming RuneScape, doing the thing. Yep.
Oh yeah, congrats man on moving out. That's sick.
Yeah, thanks.
Ian's cam's already
Been
behind.
nice.
I don't know how this happens, man.
Do you want to refresh it?
Give it a go, yeah. What about you, PP? I know you've been at Armadillo. Have you been up to much else?
Yeah, no, just going dry on that Armadillo helmet. DC'd on the hardcore at Arma. That was fun
Ooh.
too. Yeah.
Oh, I saw yesterday, yeah.
You didn't die, did
Yeah.
you?
Oh no. I mean, I was kind of I was dumbfounded that I didn't die. I thought for sure I was dead when I DC, but then was able to get back on and good to go. So yeah, it's been eventful. Not in the good way, but it's been eventful.
And Westham, how's Edgeville?
Take the piss. I don't think I've had any RNG for about 2 weeks, but I mean, I'm just doing the usual. Camp in Rev Cave, Camp in Edgeville.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Oh no. It's not great, but we might have something lined up for PvPers later in the stream. Oh, he's such a good hype man, isn't he great? Isn't he great? Right, so outside of all of that, there's an announcement coming up later on that we will talk about. We've got 100 mil giveaway also coming up using marbles later on. But first off, I guess we'll talk about the game. It's the one thing that we all actually do together. Equipment rebalancing. Gut reactions first.
Who wants to have a go first?
Yeah, gut reactions first before. Wait,
Do you
Tedious,
start
what
with
are
the
you
big
drinking?
one or the smaller to the top?
What is that?
What are you drinking, Tedious?
Triple Caramelite. It's a lovely beer.
Colored
The
water.
way that rolls off your tongue is so exquisite.
That
Say
sounds
again.
like a Starbucks
Caramel.
drink, if I'm honest, but...
Nah, not at all, dude.
Does it come in venti?
Hang on, I'll type it in the chat.
Alright, swing and a miss, whatever I tried, doesn't matter. But yeah, equipment rebalancing. What gut reactions for everyone when they first saw the news? Like the initial post, which was made on the 21st?
I was happy with just about everything. I think the Bulwark milli-stat nerf is a bit too much, but the mage death getting a nerf is 100% like a good idea.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's,
think
that's kind of where I was
I'm a
at
big
too.
fan of
I mean, if I'm being honest with you, and I don't even PK that much. This is coming from an Iron Man. I didn't think that the Bulwark should have ever been put in the game because what I usually want in Wildy is players fighting back against one another instead of just running away. I think that makes it a lot more enjoyable experience instead of just running away with tail between your legs and with your Bulwark on and praying mage. It definitely takes a lot more skill and took a lot of skill out of it when the Bulwark was introduced. So, I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Bulwark, if anything, needs to be nerfed even more. Screw the Bulwark. Boring. Black D'Hide change is good. Blowpipe change is good in my opinion, even though my Iron Man won't be able to use it very well anymore if I do get it. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy overall. The one thing I didn't like too much was the Dragon Warhammer, or just in general, the Warhammer change just seemed... I know they're trying to like mix up the meta and that. I didn't really understand that one too much. I think if the Dragon Warhammer was one attack, it's going to be a little bit powerful, but at the same time, BH is gone, and that bracket is just dead, so it's whatever. I don't really care that much about that one. I hope they do more of this stuff as well. I hope it's not just this stuff, like the changes they propose right now, but other things like being able to sit in full melee armor, like tank gear, like Barrows is the meta, the best in slot way to do DKs or how to do Barrows. It doesn't make much sense to me that you can play the game like that. So I hope they continue doing this balancing and yeah, pretty much.
Your cam is all over the place.
Is my cam
man.
being weird?
Yeah, it jumps in and out of being. I'm not sure how it does it because it doesn't like noticeably speed up or slow down, but it will randomly go from being super delayed to perfectly.
I've not
in sync.
turned it on in like 2-3 weeks. So I'm not surprised that I've turned it on the first time it has problems. I'll try refreshing again. Sorry.
True. I guess Tedious. What about you?
Yeah, I think like
Oh my
most of
God.
the things are probably very overdue, right? Like the Black Deite nerf, the Blowpipe nerf. I think all of these things are like people have been saying for ages that they've been way too overpowered for what they are. So they should have done this a long time ago, in my opinion. So it's probably a good thing. I just think it's about getting the numbers right, and I'm not much of a numbers guy in regards to like gear and stuff.
Only
So-
spreadsheets.
Yeah, exactly. I can't make decisions on my own. I let something else do that for me. But I think overall it's a good idea that they want to nerf all these things. And I also really like the fact that they're like trying to make other types of weapons useful. Like just for low levels, making everything like 4-tick is really interesting in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
that's
like
pretty much
it
all I
how
have
they-
to say.
How they turned around and like initially when everyone gave their opinion about the blowpipe, and then there was one guy, I can't remember what his name was, I think GM or something on Twitter, and he was known in the PVM community for understanding the balancing and all that, and he made a suggestion that made rune darts and dragon darts not too dissimilar to how they are now, but obviously the previous tiers are all just way too overpowered for how much they cost and such. So I think the suggestions he made, which then Jagex pulled forward, was a really cool connection between the community and the devs. I like to see that.
I guess it all started.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
the...
I'm just.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go on.
That's fine. No, you go.
No, I'm just a big fan of the fact that they're actually willing to go back on content and like rework it rather than just adding something and then just not touching it if it's been in the game for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just gonna
definitely took a-
change Scene.
It
I'm
def-
gonna change scene.
it definitely
quickly so
took
we
a
can
lot
look at the
of-
blog.
Okay.
We're gaming.
Beautiful blog written by the
Nice.
beautiful user.
Go ahead, boys.
There it
This
is.
I use his handiwork. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Yeah, it definitely took a lot of guts in order for them to finally go through with this, because obviously the blowpipe's one of the most widely used weapons in the game. But this was kind of needed. My biggest problem with the blowpipe was, well, obviously its damage was so high, but it's just how cheap the thing was. I mean, 4 mil GP, and this thing is, I mean, they couldn't release weapons that should have been in the 500 mil range, unless they released something that would have been better than almost the blowpipe, or almost the T-bow. They couldn't have out DP or brought something in that out DPS the blowpipe, which is why we haven't really gotten much for range in the past 5 years.
I will say as well, people are basically a lot of people from what I've seen are trying to add new stuff to make other weapons more viable. But I feel like nerfing one item and adding another 20 just makes a lot more sense to me than to keep the blowpipe the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to,
And now
I'm
they've
trying to
got-
find a graph
now
of
they've
the
got-
price of the blowpipe quickly because
The only thing I've been disappointed in this blog is, well, the response from the community in terms of like, we knew it was going to happen, like the moaning against the nerfing of the bulwark and the black dragon hide changes. It's like, this is 70 tier gear. It should be way better than Zerish and whatever they say on Reddit. That's been like, I really hate opening Reddit at the moment and seeing all the
I
stupid.
haven't been there in years now. It's
Dude, it's not worth it. There's a lot of people that are very opinionated and don't really understand much about the game.
wait,
Um,
I've dragged this.
What
over.
I find
that was the biggest
very,
negative from it.
what I find very good about the black D-hide nerf, and I would say is the items were so cheap. There, you get full black D-hide in around 15k. Next tier up is going to be Carol's, which actually is tier 70 armor. They kept saying that black D-hide is tier 70. That's not true. It's tier 40 defense armor. Carol's is tier 70 defense armor, and how close they were in defensive capabilities, considering their price difference, was it was just way too close. Like the black D-hide had better melee stats, and I think Carol's only had a little bit better range stats. It was just the mage defense that was so much better on Carol's. But now it's going to set in place a true difference between black D-hide and Carol's, and it's actually going to make bringing Carol's, you're really going to feel that difference in defense when you bring it into the wilderness now, and I think that's really good. Even Armadillo is now going to possibly, for the really high risk people out there, Armadillo's going to have a place in Wildy.
Aiza's clapping for you.
Not to
in chat.
mention the fact that I do believe think God Dehide's the same as Black Dehide, which actually gives it a use for once. I feel like God Dehide is basically only used for prayer bonus and
What? So
nothing else.
they're not going to nerf the God Dehide and just leave it as the
I
current,
believe
like,
so. I don't know
character?
how right I am about that, but I'm sure Chuck correct me if I'm wrong there.
I think they're also nerfing it.
They were
So-
planning to, right? But I think at the end they said that they might just leave God the as is, but I'm not sure if they're going through with that or not.
All right, guys, look, everyone buy 100 God Dehides. Don't sell them for a month. We're going to make the moon all the way to
Oh
the...
god, here we go.
There's a decent amount
Sorry.
of people saying that all Dehide is being nerfed, so I don't know. But isn't it? Yeah, a user's literally here.
Are we diamond handing
Oh, okay.
blessed
Yeah,
Dehide?
it hasn't been confirmed yet, so.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I guess for consistency, it would make sense for them to nerf it as well. But at the same time, like, God Dehide actually, you know, you risk like a few 100k. I wouldn't be opposed. I just wanted to, because one of you made the point about like blowpipe being so cheap, right? And this was something I saw tossed around on Reddit loads, saying the blowpipe's been, it's been botted to oblivion. It's so cheap now. But the blowpipe has been the same price pretty much for like 4.5 years. Since like this whole like everyone talking about like, oh, the bloody bots. It's like this graph is a straight line. Like it's been a straight line for years. The blowpipe is just broken, and the price has almost always been the exact same. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Easily grindable instance bosses. This is always going to happen. I mean, you look at something like with this is an update that I think Jagex did pretty okay, was the Hydra boss, 95 Slayer, need a task for it, and you can kill it fairly quickly, but if you look at the claw, I think it's still at, what, 85 mil, 90 mil? That's around the price that you're going to be looking at. The blowpipe, if the blowpipe, we think of the blowpipe being in a raid setting like the T-bow was, we replace the T-bow with a blowpipe. It's not as much as T-bow, but probably still around 400-500 mil.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder with the changes to balancing of gear, if they're going to consider changing the way that drop tables work with things like Zora, which has been asked for years now. Like, in the first place, Zora never should have been the consistent GP per hour moneymaker that it was. If you imagine if the blowpipe was like a 1 in 1k or something, and if it was like one of the only uniques that you could get, including the other uniques that Zora have, it would be worth so much more and way better placed.
Someone already made the, not necessarily a suggestion, but they put their thoughts out on why the blowpipe was so cheap in the first place. And the only reason that Solra drops, or Solra uniques rather, are so cheap is because it pumps out so much more money. Like, the drops that you get alongside those uniques is the problem, not necessarily the rarity of the uniques.
It being the best GP per hour, pretty much, with like
if
lowest
it
skill
didn't
and
drop,
no risk requirement is.
I mean, if it didn't
fun.
drop like 200k average every single time, I know it's probably a bit less now. I think it's like 70k, but on release it was a lot of. If it didn't do that from the start, the unique would have been worth so much more. I think Vorkath suffers the exact same situation there as well.
It's like the comparison of you look at Smoke Devils compared to Abyssal Demons. I mean, well, obviously the whip does have its item sync in the tentacle, but still, people don't usually do Abyssal Demons, especially if you're a main, because it's not as good XP. However, Smoke Devils are some of the best XP in the game. That's why Occult is sitting at 300k, and it's still best in slot by a wide margin.
Yeah, that's true.
Occult 300k.
Yeah, Occult's dirt
very,
cheap.
very cheap.
That's why we play Iron
my
Man.
Christmas tree.
Yeah, I flamed you for this 2 days ago. It's bad luck. You need to get it
I
down.
knew someone. Yeah,
Well,
I was
might-
just
yeah.
hoping for the best, man. Genuinely.
The
Like, I'm
cost
lazy, bro. Leave me
200k?
alone, Jesus Christ.
Oh man, yeah, I quite like the Nightmare drop table. I think the other, I mean, this isn't specifically about balancing changes, but it's like relevant, I suppose. The other kind of goofy thing about really consistent drop tables, like I've just finished Hydra on my Iron,
Hey,
and
congrats.
just started.
Nice.
Yeah, not congrats. I hate I don't like Hydra. I hate counting. I hate
Took
looking
me a long
away,
time.
and then I look back, and I'm like, I'm 2, 3, and then I get slapped for a 30. But I've just
Counting
finished
can be
Hydra.
hard.
I've just done some Vorkath, and the drop tables are so consistent that now I don't care about like any other drop tables. I get like, I'm doing shamans for Warhammer still, and I get like a 25k alk, and half the time I just leave it on the floor because I can't be asked to pick it up, like because I'm so spoiled by these other drop tables. I don't know.
Yeah, if you've done Hydra, you're never going to need money again on Iron. Well,
nah.
unless you're careless. Unless you're careless. I mean, once you get to like Scythe and Sanguine Esty then yeah, you're gonna be throwing your whole cash stack at Blood Runes.
I don't know. I'm 40 mil liquid, so you know, I dropped it all on mahogany planks. They're gonna move. Obviously, the whole.
I never tried Hydra before, but the counting mechanic puts me so put off, like even wanting to get to the level to.
It's pretty chill.
Do it.
I just wish I had a visual indicator like Hanyuf does when it changes style.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite thing in the world. Like
Yeah,
I
I'd
just,
love that as well.
I don't like counting. My brain, like once you get past
Yeah.
like 2, my brain struggles.
I've not even done any Hydra ever, but like just from doing Demonic Gorillas, I'm already tired of counting to 3 all the time. So I can't imagine how it's gonna be when I'm doing Hydra.
Yeah.
I like high intensity bosses like that, and Zora is one of my favorite bosses, but mostly because you have all these switches. And I really don't care for bosses like Vorkath because, well, unless you're Wooks walking, it's really not that intense.
Yeah, Solra is a lot more fun. Like, I'm not necessarily a PVMer by any means, but I feel like Zolra is still like, in my terms, acceptable because you still get to like switch your gear a decent amount and stuff like that. Vorkath, you kind of use camp in 1 star.
True.
You were a PVMer recently. I saw you doing. when
Yeah,
I
I was
saw
doing the
when I
PVM
saw
bingo,
West
that
Ham
was
is
about it.
live and you were doing barrows on stream. And the whole time.
That was a PVM
To be fair,
bingo.
you literally got like a Tanzanite mutagen, and do you get a mace from Nightmare?
Yeah, I got a Tans and what's it called, Inquisitor's Mace, like 2 days in, and then after that it was just in a bin. I didn't get anything else.
Isn't mace the only thing that Lake still needs?
per
And
mil.
he's done like
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
he's
Jeez.
he's hit
He's had
like,
so many other items.
he's hit the table like 21 times I think, and it's like a 1 in 10 for what he needs or something. It's
Isn't it the second or the third thing he's gone for that he's been like the top 5 most
Yeah.
bright iron in the game
Yeah.
for? It's just like so mad.
insane. He's gonna be invoicing me for a hotline soon. I swear that man he's dry. Like it's bad. Did any of you guys when Jagex sent the survey out initially that kicked all of this off? Did any of you respond?
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. I didn't even know
Oh.
those existed. If I'm
Why aren't
honest.
you exercising your democratic rights? But
What was that, sorry?
from me or West Ham?
From you, sorry.
I was taking the piss. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
um,
Put it in my head.
The survey. Yeah, I put something down like my gripe, especially with the blowpipe. Because I think I even said this when I was doing the survey. I mentioned that the blowpipe makes it so people don't really have much to work for. All of the really overpowered gear is somewhat cheap, right? You got the blowpipe, you've got your Zenite jewelry, which is a little more expensive here, but then you've got a whip and then a tentacle, which tentacle degradable, yes, but still pretty cheap. Then you're looking at another upgrade. Okay, so I've got my tentacle whip, which costs 3 mil. Now what's my next upgrade? Oh, Sagrazi Rapier. That costs 130 mil. Great, and that's not even as big of an upgrade as what I got from my D-Skim to whip was. All right, well, that's fine. Now you look at blowpipe. What's my next upgrade to that? Oh, it's the Dragon Hunter crossbow, but it can only be used for dragons. Or it's the T-bow, which is 1 billion GP. I think we needed to have more items that people could work towards and get excited about. And having the blowpipe be such a low price and have it be as powerful as it is, really, it didn't make it made that more difficult.
Yeah, I think this is the thing with the blowpipe. Like, in places where you can use the T-bow and can use the blowpipe, the T-bow's like, I don't know, 20 to 30% better than blowpipe in a lot of them. And you can use the blowpipe like basically everywhere and it's good. The difference is that the blowpipe or the T-bow is about like 4,000 times, like, you know, it's ridiculous. It's like 330 times more expensive than the blowpipe. It's insane.
Yes.
Do we think the
Yes.
proposed are too harsh? I know they made some changes in their, they put out like a second blog on the 26th, I want to say. Sorry about all the scrolling. It was 5 days later. Do you guys think they're too harsh, or do you wish they'd stuck with their initial? What do we reckon?
First proposal was really
Yeah.
that was
Overnight.
that was a nerf and a half. After the revised nerf, I think that this is about where it needs to be at, especially with the strength of the rune darts and dragon darts being much closer to what the blowpipe originally was.
Yeah, I think it's annoying for me because now I have to do smithing on my Iron Man, and I cannot be bothered. But I've been an adamant dart warrior for like a year.
I don't
But
remember
it is
who
what it
said it,
is.
but didn't someone say that like I think it might have been Finley that told me, but apparently the new blowpipe is only like, what, 5% less damage with like dragon and rune darts than the previous one?
I think they estimate
depending on
between
defense.
9 and 14%, I think, with dragon
Oh,
darts.
okay.
And like I was watching,
I still feel like that's not enough, but
I think give it a few months and people won't notice it anymore. They'll just be like, oh,
Well, I mean,
it was changed. Like
it's
it'll
been-
become second nature. This will be in the past very quickly, I think.
yeah,
The blowpipes.
it's been on the test worlds, right? And I think like I was watching Atty do Inferno, especially. This was there were a lot of redditors saying that the Inferno was balanced around the blowpipe and as such should be retroactively made easier. Which, yeah, okay. I literally have it like there are people doing Inferno with like burst spells, don't swear.
MSBs.
Burst spells, magic shortbow, ring crossbow. You didn't hear
That's
that.
like the worst argument ever. Like those people that say that all
anything.
Inferno capes have to be deleted because they're not, viable or like valuable anymore.
But
Like
yeah.
just
6
because
months.
they're changing one weapon, all of a sudden it has to be deleted, and everyone has to
Wait
get it
6
again.
months. Wait 6 months and they'll have an item that makes the Inferno easier than it was before blowpipe nerf. I mean, remember when Justice Art came out?
But
yeah,
like,
I mean, exactly. Like, I feel like that makes the Inferno a shit ton a lot easier, especially if like you're just powering through the waves and you get
Dude,
lucky. At
you
one
can
point.
you can walk around with the bulwark even after the nerf it's going to have and full Justicia, and you can just walk in a circle on one of the later waves and take no damage almost. It's ludicrous how much
think
easier it is than
grenade.
it was in release.
the Inferno point, especially, like Husky hit the nail on the head in the Q&A, where I've done like 8 Inferno attempts in my life, and then work got really busy and I stopped because I ran out of death runes and you can't buy them in packs, and it annoyed me. But
Oh, please add death rune packs, I beg.
blood runes more. But
And Fire
Yeah,
Rune
those as
backpacks.
well.
But I've done like 8 attempts, my PB65, and in none of those attempts have I failed and been like, oh, if my blowpipe had done 10% more DPS, I would have had this in the bag. Every time I failed, it's because I'm not very good at the game, and that's fine. Like, everyone who's like actually good at the game, like watching people like Atty, Attycon especially was who I was watching a lot of yesterday doing Inferno, maybe not yesterday. Everyone's had the same verdict that getting your first cape is basically no more difficult than before. It's like an extra 2 or 3 seconds maybe to kill like ranges and things like that, and it just doesn't really make much difference. Nobody seems to be talking about the
arguably
fact
it
that the
could get
spec
you
is 100%. Well, I mean, yeah, but
It,
it's like
even the slightest nerf is going to affect your run, but at the same time, it's like it's not going to be significant enough to, like, you might have to do 1 or 2 more attempts rather than whatever you have to do right now.
yeah,
think,
it's like it's a growth mindset piece of content, right? Like you go in, you get better. Like it's the same reason a lot of like good capers kind of, I don't know. I feel like the advice usually is not to like use Justy for your first cape and just learn the waves, because like the more you learn, like it's not unachievable. It's just sorry Casper.
Look, man, I for my first cape, and then I'll switch. I promise.
You were adding to the panic as well.
No.
Stream
I
title,
promise
blowpipe
Puggins
nerf.
to,
I've got to get my cape.
Yeah, I mean, I promised Puggins to ditch the Justice Shire so that I can actually learn the waves properly.
It's going to be...
You can get out.
With the blowpipe nerf, where it really is going to matter is the sets on Zuck and the healers on Zuck. That's where it really counts. That's where your DPS you want as much as possible. Because if you're not flicking the sets, you want to get that ranger down ASAP. If you are flicking the sets, that's not as much of a problem as long as you don't as long as you don't mess up the sets. But then on the healers, that is also where you just want it to. The quicker you kill them, the better off you're going to be. So I could see that being a problem. But the rest of the entire Inferno, besides it taking a little bit longer, it's not going to end your run.
I wonder how many people are actually doing Infernos now, like racing as fast as they can because they don't think they're able to get it post blowpipe. Because I've still got to do mine on my pure Iron Man as well, and I've been slacking off on it because of Inferno anxiety. But I need to get to it too, probably.
Moral wreck is
Inferno is definitely the
jam-packed.
most depressing content in the game. I'm not gonna lie. I try to power through that, but the more attempts you do, like I genuinely feel like if you do more than 1 or 2, like you're in bin, you just fail after that. It gets worse and worse.
And what about, I guess outside of the Inferno, just like maybe inflating some grinds? I've seen Tedious, especially on some kind of wild ones recently. I've seen Briar Fighter's Essence, I've seen 34,000 zombies for a champion scroll, I think.
Jesus.
How many
It
zombies
was 24,000.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's much better. That's
it
fine.
wasn't. It
Never
wasn't
mind.
that bad. It wasn't that bad.
No,
I mean, the thing is, by the time I get my blowpipe, because that's the last thing I'm missing from Zulrah, it's already going to be nerfed, so I'm never going to experience the pre-nerf blowpipe. Never have I even done a single wave in the Inferno either, so...
So yeah, you won't be spoiled. But like, what kind of grinds? I don't know. Like, what's the most kind of immediately likely grind on your spreadsheet that might be hit hard by not having a blowpipe? I presume Warhammer's going to be kind of gross.
I've already got the Warhammer, so it's not going to be
never
that.
mind. Must be nice.
Yeah, I gotten that one a while ago. What's going to be affected by a blowpipe? God, I'm going to have to take a look, really, because I can't remember.
Hydra.
I'm loading up the spreadsheet right now. Yeah, but that's, like, not in the near future.
Right.
Press 1 for PvP questions.
I mean, I guess KQ is not really that relevant. I think probably more demonic gorillas, really, but other than that, there's not that many things that I'll have to range in the near future, so...
Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know. I'm trying to find time to at least kill shamans before it goes through, but if I have to do it afterwards, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I've got nothing to rush. I'll just deal with the nerfed one.
Okay, right. West Ham's derailed the chat, and they're all asking for PvP questions. I just wanted to give Tedious a chance to speak, because he hadn't been able to speak for a while. But he's enjoying a
calm
beer.
down.
so
I'm only
sure-
taking a piss.
I don't know.
But
He's enjoying a
it-
beer.
Just because I genuinely don't know, Tedious, why are you killing zombies?
Because that was my task. If you're not familiar with my content, I basically just go for one item at a time on the collection log. And my task was to get a champion scroll, so I was killing zombies until I get that champion scroll.
Oh, so do you like randomize a roll for your
Yeah.
collection log?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. That's basically
this
the
man
main
was-
gist of it.
He was
Have you got them in,
camped
like-
Edgeville dungeon, bro? Like,
Yeah, I was basically...
24k zombies only takes like a week. No?
Well, yeah, I was there for like a week, killing them in the Edgeville dungeon. Yeah.
sorry, is that a hand up? Go ahead, Ian.
Huh? No, I wasn't sure if my hand up to speak, teacher. I was like, I always move my hands when I'm talking, so I won't interrupt. I was gonna ask if you got like, is it like easy, medium, hard tiers of the clues? Like, how do you determine what you're gonna get, or is it just a random generator that you've input into a big spreadsheet? Because I've not really tuned in a while either.
Yeah, so the spreadsheet has different tiers. So there's easy until elite, and you know, right now I'm in the hard tier, and there's plenty of different tasks, including all tiers of clues and stuff.
Oh my god. Good
Yeah.
luck.
I love that. Like, that puts the old school into perspective. That West Ham was like, oh, it's only a week. I'm like, bro.
Only a week for an item that you're never using for anything.
I feel
people
like all
play
of
their
us
entire-
here are kind of neats at the game, so...
Did I tell you guys how I got my brother to start playing? And he made an Iron Man. Like, this was a couple weeks ago, or a month ago over Christmas. And he was following the Iron Man guide, and he's not played RuneScape since he was a kid, but obviously he watches me play occasionally. And he started following. He was doing great. You got to the step where you finally get to Wintertodt after like a couple of days of playing. He's like, oh, this is awesome.
You get
Wintertodt.
99 fire making.
and then he got. I think he spent like an hour there, and he was like, wait, do I have to stay here now for the next like couple days or something? Like, yeah, he got to spend like 60 hours there. He's like, right, I'm quitting. He didn't log in again since then. Legit, he's not logged in. He's like, no, this is the game. I'm done.
Oh man.
Bless him.
All right, people.
Stay away from Wintertodt.
Right, let's ask a PvP question, which isn't immediately
Let's
a
go.
PvP question, but changes to level requirements. Thoughts?
How's that PvP?
Because changes to attack requirements, especially, like
Changes
change.
to
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, sure.
What do you mean in theory?
The only one that's really related to
Derailing.
PvP out of all those changes, I feel like, is D Warhammer. And D Warhammer,
Yeah.
the change is extremely weird.
Nah,
wielding
they're all-
and-
They're all important because the whole meta has always been to have 75 attack as a build, and this change is basically completely changing that. And if you want to use these weapons now, I made the argument on Twitter about it because I was really sad to see this as a player that wants to do PvM and PvP as a pure Iron Man, etc. And in general now they've lifted the attack requirements up, understandably so, to balance it all out. But it means that PvPers now, if they want to use those weapons, if they want to PvM efficiently and like use the assault or rapier or the scythe, they've got to get unnecessary attack levels, increasing their combat for no gain aside from being able to do PvM. So it's like, I think it's a negative thing overall. I didn't like it, but equally, it probably is better for the game. It definitely does affect PvP for sure, because it's again, it's making players have to decide, I guess, do I want to be a PvPer or a PvMer? Because if you want to go for both, you're going to have some disadvantages or some pros and cons either way. Does that make sense?
Is it that much of a difference, like having to get those few
It's not.
extra levels?
It's not huge. Like, it changes your combat by
depends.
1 to 2 for the 80, but if you want to get 85 for Scythe, you're looking at like 3 to 4 combat levels, which is quite significant for not really much gain apart from a tiny bit of accuracy, which doesn't really matter much in PvP.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world, but it's not a positive thing, I think, for PvPers.
I mean, if you're looking at stat requirements and in terms of PvP builds, then you're ruining an entire build if that's a let's say like a med level wants to go PvM and Scythe requires 83 attack, then yeah, you do have to ruin your build in order to do that, well, to wield a Scythe and do some PvM with that.
Equally, like, this could be combat in the future. They could bring out like 80 attack weapons and 85 attack weapons, which are specific to PvP uses. Like we had the VLS that got pulled recently, or there's not been really a big PvP update weapon-wise since, I guess the volatile kind of was, but I mean since, you know, AGS and like claws and stuff like that years ago. So if there was like an 80 attack or 85 attack weapon which was slightly better or, you know, had a different use like AGS, then maybe. But then you're kind of creeping on power creep and changing the game a bit where people get upset, and that's, I don't know. It's a difficult one for sure, but
Yeah, I think it's
it
a
definitely
niche
does,
point.
it definitely
but
does impact PvPers for sure.
It's a niche point, but it's definitely like, I don't know, something I didn't see spoken about much.
Mm.
I think, like Westham said, the Warhammer one was probably the thing that maybe stands to change the most.
I mean, I'd say the only thing, like the only reason I viewed it as like an extremely weird change is seeing someone wield a dragon but not having the attack level, which is commonly associated with that weapon, is kind of weird. I'm a big fan of it though.
I want to
I'd
see an
say if they
Obimorla
made it
spec
20
for
attack, I'd
60.
be a fan.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about 20 attack. Is that because of like corrupt stuff back in the day?
I'd say people definitely took 20 just because of corrupt PvP weapons, but to me it doesn't necessarily matter if they put it on anything between like 1 to 40. For me, sounds fine. I think 40's pushing it because then you're kind of just adding more to the Gmaul bracket, but I'd say 20 to 30 is fine.
At 1, in my opinion, it's a bit powerful.
Yeah, I
you
definitely
can-
think so.
It's, people compare it to the volatile spec, but it's not the same because the volatile's got like a 2-second delay on when it actually hits your opponent. You've got time to
Exactly.
eat, whereas
That
the
was my
Warhammer can be
point as well.
stacked with like projectiles and stuff, and so it's instant spec. I think 20 would be more balanced, but it just seems so weird. Like, why put the Dragon Warhammer at 20? How does that make any sense? But I mean,
Yeah, I feel like it should be
better than 1, I guess.
either you keep it at 60 or you're gonna make it 1, because it's a bit weird if you take like a random number and be like, yeah, this makes sense, but why though?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The thing is, again, like I said previously, though, if the Dragon Warhammer was 1 attack, it wouldn't really change that much because Bounty Hunter's gone, so the pure bracket in general is pretty dead nowadays, especially sub 50 combat or sub like 55, 60 combat, 'cause it's just not profitable. You can't make money, and people just don't enjoy it as much as they used to. So it's not going to be really that deep either way, I don't think.
Has pure PK never been profitable though? Not really.
Yeah, with
well,
BH,
I mean,
100%. Like,
you
can go-
yeah, with BH, but if we're talking about pre-OC, pure PK wasn't necessarily profitable back then either. I think people just cared less for profit than what they
definitely
do now.
was, dude. Especially free to play. Like, free to play was the perfect place to be a pure PK because you'd risk like a rune simi and a rune 2H, which would be like what, 70, 80k, and then inventory supplies would cost like 5k. So as long as you're killing people more than you're dying and you're getting a kill every 10 or so fights, then
Yeah, but
you'd always profit. And members as well. Like,
I still
didn't-
feel like all of that money doesn't at all compare to what you can make PVMing, and that's the problem here. The problem is that so many people compare PKing, but like how much money they can make PKing per hour to what they can do in PVM, and therefore they just choose PVM.
Well, yeah, you can't really. And if you're just starting out in PvP, you're just not going to make. You're going to lose money. You're going to
Yeah,
lose money for a
exactly.
long time, unless you just sit yourself in LMS for 4 months, I guess.
Nah, it doesn't work. I sat myself in LMS for months, started pure PKing, and just donated Berserker necklaces for about 3 weeks straight, and then ran out of money.
Oh, that might just be you, of course.
No,
you know, that might
I'm
not
really,
be a general
no,
thing.
I'm really good at the game. It's pure
Right.
PKing's broken.
yeah, skill ceiling.
Well, they are going to be coming out with pure Zerk and pure LMS.
And the
Yeah,
new map
maps now.
looks sick.
Oh,
I love
Yeah.
everything Mod West touches, like the new map presentation as well. Like everything that man does is gold, honestly.
Very excited for that.
The only thing I have to say about the new map is that I genuinely hope that they have some more like thought process into it than just, oh, here's a new map, here's some new terrain. I kind of want it to be, if it doesn't have any type of unique content compared to the last map and it's just a different map, then I don't know. In my opinion, that's dumb.
What kind? Oh, strong words. What would you put in for like unique content?
I mean, it can literally be anything. You can rotate chests or like have some form of unique, like you can put an NPC in the middle of it that you kill when you have like a guaranteed chance as a PvP weapon or something. That's just me spitballing right now, but
yeah, I think that's the thing.
Something unique to what we like currently have. You can't just add another map. I beg that's not what they're doing. Please, Aiza, save me.
I think that in general, like when it comes to PvP and competitive games, whether it's shooters or games like RuneScape, the way that they evolve and constantly stay relevant and they're exciting and interesting is that like every week, like with Fortnite, I don't play Fortnite, I never have, but I've heard that they have like new weapons and different drops and stuff that changes every now and then. And PvP like hasn't had that in such a long time. And LMS and DMM2 was such a good opportunity for them to just completely mix up the metas and do some crazy things and fun stuff that wouldn't really affect the main game very much. And I really hope they do look into doing that LMS, like you said, new weapons or different armors and stuff that they can't really poll in the main game, but they can just be like, hey, it's last month's night, it's a mini game. If it's not very good, we'll just take it out after a week or two.
It's kind of the perfect testing grounds, right? Yeah. Like you could even add like Karasi to LMS, which is literally what I has just typed in chat. But even like I don't know, realistically, you could try out like turmoil and stuff, like not even like all curses, but like just whacking like an extra prayer. I'm sure that's actually a lot of effort. But like, it's the perfect testing ground. It's like a microcosm for any change.
LMS doesn't necessarily have to be competitive every single week, but I mean, you can make it competitive, but you can still add a bit of goofiness to it.
Nah, make it fun. Yeah, definitely.
Like the current way it is, like everyone that gets a DH helm drops it. Give them the full set and they wouldn't drop it. You can add PvP armors to LMS. You don't have to add it to the main game. Just add a few, like rotate items in LMS. Don't just let it be the same stuff every single game until the game mode dies out, and I'd be happy.
While we're on the topic of LMS,
yeah, my webcam is doing great.
Oh god.
Oh jeez.
You can try giving the link a refresh.
I want to see the dogs come back to LMS. That's what I want to see, but not as just like little animals that have got 50 HP and you just pound to death to get some food from, but maybe like out of nowhere there's like, I don't know, a Jad or some kind of like PVM boss that you got to prayer flick quickly and it's got like 10 hit points only, but it can also destroy you and you kill it and you get like some kind of reward. I don't know, like you said, goofy stuff like that, just out of the box, random things. I don't know. I'd like to see stuff like that.
Not Ian. Aiza just said, if there's rotation, people are more likely to just wait for the best points per hour though, and I don't feel like that's necessarily true. I feel like if you're gonna make rotations where, for example, like you have full, like a DH helm turn into full sets, instead of getting an Aram's top, you get the full set. If you get like, you can get like, I don't know, full PvP armor sets and stuff like that. People aren't gonna wait. They're still gonna play the game mode.
What does he mean by the rotation? Sorry, best points per hour? Does he mean? I mean,
I'm guessing he either means combat brackets or items, but like rotating items or combat brackets, no matter what, I still feel like people are gonna play.
Yeah, dude. I think if anything, having new items and different things happening every week would get more people playing than less people playing because they feel like they can't make as much GP per hour. I think the majority of people that do LMS do it because it's fun and they enjoy doing it. Not because, oh man, just the RuneScape mentality, everything's got to be efficient and best in slot. It's not a waste of time otherwise.
That's what I was going to say. Like, go ahead.
While we're talking about LMS here, what has been going on with it lately? Like, the American world is completely dead, and everybody's on either the Australian free-to-play world or the UK free-to-play world, and it's all just bots. Like, you get into a game, 24 people, everybody leaves, there's like 5 people left, and the match is over in just like a couple of minutes.
Just wait until Tyron gets a free afternoon. He's been on an absolute steamroll.
Oh, dude. I'd say the reason LMS is doing the way it is because the same reason it was declining in the first place. It was an active game mode for a decent period of time, even with the first version of it. Version that Modrock designed. It's a good version, like it's a good game mode, but it hasn't changed. Nothing changes. People get bored of it.
It's like anywhere else in the game as well. Like PVM as well. Like if we only had one boss in the game like we had years ago, if we weren't getting bosses every few months, every year, although to be fair, it's getting to the point now where endgame wise that people have been waiting for a long time since TAB really, and I'm starting to get a bit bored. If it's the same thing with PvP except on a much bigger, amplified scale. So it shouldn't be a surprise that it's kind of goes through periods of lackluster players, like not as many players.
I'm excited for combat achievements at the very least for like but I like to be fair, I can't imagine that COVID and an entire company of game devs having to learn to like relocate and work remotely could have been particularly good for developing like big content. So I don't know. I'm not gonna flame the homies out.
No, dude, that's like something I wanted to just like mention as well. As a content creator, not you guys, but I'm very outspoken in general with like what I think about the game, and sometimes I go for periods where I don't want to be because I just feel like I'm giving such lovely. Like, I've got a lot of friends at JX as well, and the devs are all really hard working in that. Sometimes when I'm giving criticism, I'm like, damn, is it really that deep? Like, it is. Like, I'm passionate, I care a lot, but equally, I do feel bad for the devs getting the brunt of it when they've been going through the exact same situations as everyone else in the world and been affected by the lockdown and the pandemic and with all the limitations that they've now had to put on to their system and their dev work. So
I don't know. I also feel like a large part of I primarily use like Twitter as like my source of information, and being honest here, I feel like Reddit is a representation of the average OSRS player, whilst the Twitter is more like the elitist type from my feed at least. And I don't know, Jagex are putting out a decent amount of mid-tier content, but people don't really care about that and you just call it dead because it's not necessarily fun or profitable for them.
Yeah.
But it probably is for a decent amount of players. Everyone kind of just wants like a new raids 3, raids 4 every year, and that's just that's not healthy for the game.
Well, that's where new player retention comes in. And to Poshy's point in chat, like, criticism helps them get out. Like, criticism of the concept is one thing, but like, I don't know, like, Aiz is a good friend of mine, and like, I can only imagine that, having been in lockdown for almost an entire year in the UK, the first thing I want to do when I, wake up, I'm a community manager, I hop on Twitter, and I'm getting death threats or hate messages because your machine gun's going to do 9% less damage. It's like, come on, man. We are awful. Like, we need to grow up.
Like, there's got to be a balance, obviously, between like being critical and kind of wanting what's best for the game and giving our opinions. But yeah, sometimes it can get a bit too negative. I do really feel for the team sometimes because it will go over the top. You're right. It's been really sad to see on Reddit and stuff.
Yeah, I guess the last point, and probably one of the other things people are most upset about, I'm scrolling down. It's D'Hide and the Din's Bulwark. Let's talk about Salad Row PKers and their pesky freezes.
First of all, Salad Row's PKers, you don't see them. Like, I'm in the Wildy a lot.
Nobody PKs into Rishon.
No, it doesn't happen. Like, if you see somebody with that, they must be either new or if they're just really going for a bait. Like, people do bait, where they think, oh, this guy's just a noob, he's in Salad Rows, but really he's not, and he ends up venge AGSG mauling you for your bank.
Yeah, this is the point that annoys me. Like, I think, what was it? Even in like max, like freeze accuracy versus Black D'Hide was like 50, like mid to low 50% or something. Like, nobody's saying that Black D'Hide is broken because you splash on it with like, some green fabric. Like, it's broken because you can risk 12k, somebody can roll up with a 300mm mage setup. It's the only way to get a kill in the wilderness is to land freezes. If you cast 5 barrages, you've spent more than Black D'Hide costs, and you still never catch freezes. It makes no sense. I don't know. Westham, what do you think?
I mean, we had this discussion before and we took it over briefly, but I kind of agree to the fact that Salad Row PKs is almost like there's barely any people in the wilderness that bring salad robes over mystics.
There's barely any people in the wilderness, full stop.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's true, actually.
There's not that many people that bring salad robes, if I'm honest. It's more like something that, I mean, yeah, you can probably find some, but at the same time, Reddit makes it seem like almost every single person in the wilderness brings salad robes, when that's just not true at all.
You see more people in Arams than you would in salad robes.
Yeah, I'd say
honestly.
So. I don't even PK. I'm mostly on an iron, and I'd never see anyone in salad robes. Also, it's really easy to escape people these days. I don't know why everyone's so pressed. Like,
What I would say is the
if you're within 4
best-
working days of the Rev Caves entrance, you're probably fine. Like,
yeah.
Someone said Mystics is still low tier armor. To that, I would say so is D'hide. I'd say Mystics is like the base for like, I don't know. I feel like Mystics and D'hide are like the same type of, like they should be at the same range.
Yeah, but Mystics cost over 100k, and well, D'hide's 15k.
Yeah, I know, but it's not just about that. It's just about, to me, it's more about much you splash in Mystics on D'hide.
sorry,
Yeah.
what is the noise that I'm hearing at the moment?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't. It shouldn't be me. I don't think so.
Is there no? I don't hear no.
It's
Maybe it's me.
I think Tedious is the mic, what's it called? Sensitivity went up a lot.
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't change anything.
And
But what I was gonna say with the black D'hide is mostly the bigger nerf in this is the melee defense, which I seriously agreed with here because the melee defense of black D'hide, black D'hide was just such a good overall all-around set. I mean, you've got really good defenses to mage, and then you've got decent defenses to both melee and range. That's not how it's supposed to work. Melee was supposed to beat out range. Or yeah, melee was supposed to be out, according to the combat triangle. Melee was supposed to be out range. Black D'hide was good against all three. Now, yes, it was better to have melee armor on, as you would have higher defenses, but then you would just get frozen every single time. So I'm really glad they decided to go through with this Black D'hide nerf, especially because of its price. There's way too much good gear in the wilderness that you can do damage with that is way too cheap. Now they need to look at the rune crossbow.
ooh, don't
Do you reckon that's overpowered or what?
Well, it's just accuracy is like max hits are great in Wildy, but accuracy is also a huge factor. And a 9k weapon that is able to, well, it's called rag range for a reason. It's it being able to just. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here, but
I think just range in general, dude. Range is so powerful.
Yeah.
It feels like you can sit in full tank gear. Obviously, looking to change that as well. They said they're going to reduce like the negative or increase the negative bonuses that having like armor gives you to range. But the fact you can walk around, like you just said, like a rune crossbow and tank gear and stuff, and still bolt people 40s, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'd agree
Unpopular
with...
opinion, I think Rigor and Augury broke.
You cut out. Did you say broke the game?
Yeah, I think Rigor and Augury broke the game for
Oh, yeah.
majority of. For
Yeah.
PVM, maybe not so much, but for PvP, it's broke the game so hard.
Even for PVM,
It shouldn't have had
like,
defense, man. One defense it should have been, but it failed the poll
Yeah.
because people hate pures.
Yep.
Yeah, rigor is kind of insane. What do we think about? I will say on the topic of D'hide as well. There was a suggestion I didn't hate about like hide coming from dark beasts or something that could maybe like fill in the gap left. And fair enough. If the like alch value on it was set to something close to, I don't know, like mystics, and it wasn't super easy to farm, like at least dark beasts or a 90 slayer monster kind of thing, I don't think that would be the worst thing ever.
I
From
think the
dark
gap is
beast
kind of
creature.
it's just kind of filled with carrols in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, if there wasn't carrols and it just went to armor, then definitely there needs to be some in between. But carrols kind of just fills that gap now that Black D'hide is leaving behind. If you want to go out in the wilderness and have good mage defense and good range defense, good melee defense, you got to bring that money. You got to bring that carrols.
I'm gonna quickly pick up on no point changing items due to PvP. Hardly anyone PKs. Why? Right, let's let's work the logic back. Why do you think nobody PKs? Because PvP make PvP better, then rebalance. You rebalance to make PvP better. I don't even PvP, but I know as well as anybody else that when this petition for whether or not old school RuneScape would happen, one of the big selling points was PvP. Back in pre-AOC times, it was like a 50-50 split on PvP and PvM. Now PvM is the most efficient thing to do. We're all adults, we all have jobs, so everybody PvMs because it's safe money and it's safe progress. PvP like needs rebalancing to get better, but it's still important and it always has been important because it's one of the only reasons old school RuneScape even exists.
If
That's my
PvP
2
is not a
cents.
good concept, if PvP is not a good concept in this game, why are 2 of the top YouTubers on for old school RuneScape PvPers?
What?
Like,
Why top streamer at PvP?
Yeah, legit. Like, oh, I don't know.
it's.
I mean,
like
Boti's
PvP
One Man Army
like,
was a
this-
PvP series as well, like as much as it was an Iron Man series, right? Like, the whole end
The-
game
the-
for One Man Army was
Yeah.
PvP.
True.
The
yeah.
concept of PvP in this game is extremely interesting, and I think that yes, there are problems with PvP, but at its core, it's in this game. I think it's very unique. I think it can be very, very fun, and there's so much potential in it. There's no reason to ignore it, especially with all of the potential that it has. And the wilderness is the exact same thing. It is a very unique place that is not. The concept of it isn't in many other games, and people do find it interesting. Even people that don't go into Wildy say they hate the wilderness. You know, I'm sure a lot of people like that have watched my series and enjoy whenever I go into the wilderness for whatever it might be. It's an interesting place. It's a great place to high risk, high reward. It's great.
Yeah.
Also, a reason that PvP is so popular, from what I've gathered from people's opinions and including my own, is that PvP is kind of unpredictable. Whilst if you do the same boss over and over again, it has the same mechanics. It's never going to change.
Yeah, it's the only part of old school that's not been solved. Like, there's always like an optimal thing to do.
Yeah.
But like, you can never prepare yourself for like everything that's going to happen, right? Like, the RNG aspect of it is super frustrating, but it's also what makes it so unique. There's no other game with a PvP system close.
It's what makes, like, for me, doing things in the wilderness is just fun because I can mess with PKers that try to kill me. And yeah, sure, they kill me sometimes, but just the fact that there's always this lingering danger of someone might show up and kill me. That's the only interesting part about some of these grinds.
It's similar to like Rust and stuff, right? At the moment, like, I don't know, it's like psychological warfare. Somebody's on me, I tell them to have a nice day, I hope they're having a good weekend, and then they get off me. And then, yeah, you know, it feels good. Like, I don't know. It's weird that some of the most popular games of all time have these, like, really similar, like, kind of divergent PvP structures. And in old school, it's, like, actively frowned upon, and I don't understand it. It baffles me.
It's just noobs,
in my mind,
that's all it is. Haters gonna hate. Noobs complaining that they can't get away from PKs, and all you gotta do is protect melee and just run. Like, it's not
I also
hard.
feel like people very often...
You'll be fine.
Yeah, people very
People
often complain
over-exaggerate.
about toxicity in PvP, and I kind of feel like there's more breeding ground for toxicity in PvP. I mean,
Yes,
it's obviously
exactly
it's
it.
easier to be
Anything
toxic when
competitive
you're
nature,
fighting a player. It's the same thing
Yeah.
as like being toxic in CS:GO and stuff like that. It's not
Yes.
unheard of, but like in PVM, it's obviously less unheard of because you're not gonna see someone flaming Zulrah.
I mean, there's still toxicity
But this-
in PVM as well. But the thing is, people remember like negative experiences based on their like, you know, their own thing.
Yeah, it's
But
negativity
most
bias.
most people never get to like high-end PVM or stuff. But when they enter the wilderness, they can get PK'd at any point. And then when that PKer says something to them, they're gonna be like, well, PvP is just toxic because that's their only experience with PvP. But they never experience toxicity in PVM because they're like, you know, a random guy that kills some fire giants, but they're not part of this, you know.
MMO, yeah.
Go to
Yeah.
Sand Crabs
People
and
have-
crash somebody, see what they say to you. It's not
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
very
the thing.
fun.
It's just because it's competitive. Like, even like top end like PVM clans, I'm not saying like, oh, Oblivion's toxic, but like, you know, there's toxicity between like high end PVMers. It's the same as like people like, bro, like somebody looks me up when I'm doing a Necreals task. They're like, oh, is that an Iron Man I see? This is my world now. And I'm like, okay, like fair. But like, you know, it's still like annoying. It still happens.
Some of the most toxic people that I've ever seen on this game compete over who can 2-tick woodcut the fastest. I feel like that speaks volumes about
About
it's
making
not
a
just
mistake.
PvP that's the problem.
It's just
I'm
because
5
it's
hours, 30
competitive,
minutes
but-
deep. I'm not missing a single tick yet. Let's go. I will
It's
say
just
one
a harbinger ground. It could have even been that PVMers were the ones that were toxic to the PKers because they were shit talking them because they were being killed by them, and then the PKers decided to be toxic back, and then it just kind of cycled around and around and around. And here we are today.
Yeah, I flame PKs all
Yeah.
the time.
I mean, people very often refer to like the good old days or like the good PvP where everyone would be like, oh, would you like to good luck? But at the same time, toxicity existed back then too. We were just kids. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
I'll say as well, I think a lot of people point the finger at, and it's very easy to say this community's toxic, this community's nasty, and all that kind of stuff. When you don't like their content, you don't want their updates to pass, and you're trying to just in general, like, you know, kind of put your point across a bit more. But I think as well as this, it's kind of like the communities are pitted against each other. Like the mains don't like the Iron Men, and the Iron Men don't like the mains that crash them and say they're toxic, etc. But like, realistically, we should be putting this frustration over to Jagex because ultimately it's their game. They're the ones that enforce the rules. And recently, like a few months ago, it was really bad in PvP where you could get away with saying, all kinds of horrible things and have done for years, and like racist stuff and slurs and derogatory terms. And now, like, people have been getting, cleaned up for it. I got banned. Timed out. I got muted for like 2 days because I said something that got caught up in the system about someone that told me to kill myself. So I said in game, he told me to kill myself to someone else, and I got muted for that because it like triggered an anti-mute thing. So they have started to like clamp down on that, and maybe in some areas it could be done a bit better. But equally, like, just saying that every PvP is toxic, it's such a narrow-minded opinion. Like, I've met some really lovely PvPers. I'm a PvPer. I'm a dick, but I mean, the West Ham's nice. There's nasty PVMs, like you said, nasty Iron Men, and this whole like constant this community sucks, or we don't like this community shouldn't get updates or whatever. It's just like we're all playing the same game together, man. We've all grown up with this game. Yeah, bro, we should like we're all a community ultimately. Like... We're all passionate about RuneScape. So
yeah, right. I'm gonna move us along quickly because I need the loo. I'm just gonna ask, what do we think about the Din's Bulwark as like the last kind of big change before we move on? Feel free to take it away. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
The bulwark, the shield, the door. So they changed
its current state or the nerfed version?
Yeah, the changes, I guess.
I always hated
the nerfed versions too. Like they nerfed it too hard. I think the melee stats are fine as long as the mage stats are like the mage defense is minus rather than just neutral.
I just always hated the concept of the bulwark in general. Like you can't fight back if you equip the thing. It's just a runaway weapon, and since it doesn't have any use in PVM, I'm just going to use it in a PvP context here. What fun is it for either party? The party that's attacking is hitting zeros constantly, not having a good time. The party that is running away is just running away, so they're not having a good time either. Why can't we have more items in the wilderness that promote fighting back rather than just trying to run away? When they released that teleblock change, where if you killed somebody, the person that teleblocked you, you would get rid of the teleblock. I love that change because it actually incentivized, if I can kill this guy and get rid of my teleblock, I don't have to run to the ditch or whatever.
Yeah, I think again along this like line of what I've seen on Reddit, at least, when it comes to the bulwark, is a lot of people saying, PvPers want things to be easier. They want to nerf our D-hide and our bulwark so we can get killed easily because we're prey and all that kind of stuff. And I for one, I'm sure a lot of PvPers are like this as well. We would love to see the actual PvMers and people in the wilderness that are able to fight back better, like some kind of way where, for example, with the wilderness bosses that are coming out later this year, which you can PvM, you'll be in some kind of gear setup where you can actually fight back and you can get away and like stand a chance. And honestly, a lot of people think that we don't want that and we just want free kills and stuff, but I don't kill PvMers in the wilderness. I very rarely do. I'm mostly out there to fight other people and fight PKers, and I fight the PKers that are looking for those PvMers to kill. Yeah, I don't think any of us don't want PvMers to have a good time. It's just the current meta of just not having to do anything apart from pray melee and run around is just ludicrous. It's ridiculous. It's gone on for way too long.
Also, the bulwark was kind of not released for it wasn't designed to be a PvP item at all. It wasn't even I don't think any thought that it would be used in PvP. Their idea was to create, because I remember when raids first came out, they said, I'm not sure if they said it specifically actually, but I'm pretty sure they wanted it so someone would have to have a tank role. They've been going after this. Yeah, they've been trying to accomplish this for a while, I feel like. They've been trying to make some form of raid or boss where you need a person that's just there to tank.
I remember
it's never happened because OSRS is always DPS based, no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's what Shaz said. I remember seeing a post that somebody said there was meant to be a room in Tob where Bulwark was useful, and I think they took it out and put Maiden in instead. But I think there's definitely, the thing with anything like that is that, there's always potential to give it a niche use and to balance content around it. I don't know. Oh no, there's a copy pasta.
Yeah, wait.
Oh no.
There's absolutely no good reason to nerf the bulwark. It's supposed to be best in slot defensive gear. I gotta scroll up. It's supposed to be best in slot defensive gear that you bring to the wilderness to avoid being blown up when you just want to get a clue done. Changing the shield, that just means it's now easier to PK people who don't want to even be involved in any PvP. Why are you in the wilderness?
Can I answer that one?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
sure.
no. Keep it safe
So,
for work.
no. So this argument was brought up on Reddit, and I saw that someone compared the stats of Bulwark to, I believe it was Staff of the Dead and a DFS, or it might have been a Hasta even and a DFS, and said that those stats are very similar. The difference there is that you're having 2 items instead of 1. I feel like that makes a very big difference. And at the same time, you shouldn't be going into the wilderness just to get a clue done and then just be tank whatever comes across your way.
Yeah.
It should always be dangerous. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, you have this on. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, this is
That
what I don't.
shouldn't be how the wilderness is.
This is what I don't
Yeah,
get.
that's
It's like I was forced into the wilderness to do my clue, and it was like, who rolled up, put a gun to your head and said, complete this clue step?
You have to.
Like, you can just drop
There's
the
no
clue,
other
bro. Like, there aren't that many wildy steps. Like, relax.
Yeah. Well, what I will say about wildy clues is that they're not very. You just basically bank everything and then do it naked, right?
Yeah.
So
I just roll out with black
the-
D-hide because it's broken. I legit black
yeah, or
D-hide
just-
and a blowpipe.
Yeah, put a 15k in there and you're just good to go. So I think clues in general need to be a higher risk sort of thing. Like if you want to, every time you go into the wilderness, you should not want to die. Like I don't like Chaos Alter's method of going out with one inventory of bones, and then if a PKer starts PKing you, who cares? Just use the rest of your bones. You're gonna die anyways. I think every single time you need to go out in the wildy, there should be a risk. You want to say to yourself, I don't want to die, so I'm gonna bring gear to make sure that I don't die.
What are we talking about? Sorry, I wasn't
Update
talking.
clues to give minus 25 mage defense for just being in your inventory. Let's go.
I saw someone saying that they feel forced to the wilderness, and I've talked about this quite a lot on my own streams and on Twitter. And I hate this this kind of mindset that you're forced to do content in a video game. Like you can do whatever you want to do, and if you want to do things more efficiently because it will save you time long run, then there has to be some kind of payoff with that. And that's what the wilderness provides, really. And everyone just wants to be pandered to. Everyone wants an easier time, understandably. Like that's human nature, obviously, if you got the choice. But so I just sometimes wish people would see the bigger picture.
Yeah, the only thing that's close to a force, quote unquote, is like D-pick. And if you care about best in slot, then I think all of the best in slot,
And that's
not. I think all of the meta mining methods, the D-pick doesn't affect, right? Like 3T 4G, I think it doesn't matter. I think it affects like 3-tick iron, but 3-tick 4G, like D-pick doesn't matter at all.
And then it's
like a 20%
that's an Iron Man
DPS upgrade
problem.
on Guardians, and that's it. At like CM, it's 20% DPS, and even then, it's like you flinch it anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not really
if you want to
something
go for like
necessarily
record,
need, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
100%.
better, but you can be just fine without it. People just feel like they always have to get every single thing that's available in the game if it's better, but no one there's no reason for you to get that unless you really want it. And if you want it, then yeah, you'll have to deal with the consequences, I guess, if you get attacked. But
Wildy rings are basically best in slot for attack styles and prayers.
Ring.
What? You use the tyrannical ring at court maybe, and that's about it. I mean, I can't think of a use for the treasonous ring. I mean, ring of the gods, yeah, but that's more of a that's not a required item for anything. I mean, that just saves prayer pots.
Dude, nothing is required. People get 45 combat infernal caves. You don't need any of this best in slot stuff that saves you like a second or 2 seconds killing guardians during a cock solo. Like,
I think we've been.
I don't know,
This is
it's-
some of what I want to move on to. Like, I had some clips that I just wanted to share of like stuff that I've watched like during the month that I thought was interesting. I'll let
feel
West Ham finish his point first.
Yeah, no, I feel like PVM, like the PVM and PvP community are always they're always battling each other because the PVM community says, oh, to do X, Y, Z, and then the PvP community usually responds with, well, I don't want to do the Infernal. Like, I don't know, there's arguments for both. Why should PKers have to go do PVM content if the PVMers never have to go into the
No,
wilderness
you have to do.
anything?
You have to do
that's
20
the best
years of
argument.
Nightmare Zone to imbue the rings, and you're the only people in
Oh,
the
that
game
was-
who lose imbues.
That was the most ridiculous pull. I couldn't believe that. Like that just made perfect sense. Oh, let's do a PvP, a minigame activity to re-imbue my rings that I lost in PvP. Nope, you gotta sit in the wilderness still because the poll failed.
Well, again, I don't mind, like, it is what it is. I don't mind that. Like, it is what it is. But it's just like, I feel like PvPers are probably forced to interact with PVM more than vice versa if they want a PvP
Yeah.
at max efficiency.
You want claws?
Yeah,
Go to, well, I mean,
100%.
looking
Yeah,
for
that's
an
probably
Iron
true.
Man perspective. You want a claws as a PvP Iron Man? You got to go to Rage. You want AGS? You got to go to Arma. The only time a PVMer has to go to and get a PVM item from the Wildy is Dragon Pickaxe. And that's maybe Mage Arena 2 Cape. That takes like an hour.
Mage Arena 2 Cape is literally like a
risk anything?
0.5 DPS percent increase over Fire Cape at 90% of content. It's next to useless. And like Dragon Pick as well, you can get it from KBD. That's like 10 seconds of being in the wilderness, and then you're safe forever, and you can just dolo. And you like if you're not an iron, if you're an iron, like meh. But I don't know. I don't like the forced into wildy like rhetoric. It's like if you're feeling forced to do anything in the game, you should probably reevaluate why you're playing the game.
Yeah, and someone made a comment in the chat as well, which basically said about my people, PvP has to be forced, or rather, they feel like they have to make a choice between wanting to do PvP, PvM. I don't feel like I'm going to be forced to do it. I'm just saying without any incentives to have like 80 attack weapons or 85 attack weapons that don't make your build any better in a PvP circumstance, is kind of dividing the community more. Where like PKers have to make a choice, like do I want to play the rest of the game, or do I want to have like a PK build that's really powerful for PvP? I've got to like, there's like some balancing there that I'd like to see worked on later in the future. Some more like 1885 attack weapons as well that work in PvP specifically. Just want to add on to that.
Do we have any closing thoughts? I've got some stream clips from just random people that I wanted to show off because I thought they were fun. I don't know. We can do some reacting content. Isn't that fun? People love that.
Oh, this might be interesting.
Oh, none of them are that spicy. All of the spicy ones I had to get rid of. But I guess we've spoken about the Inferno a little bit, and I got 2 clips of the Inferno. You can see them at the top of my screen, I guess. We've got some BF Rocket, some Swan KBK. React channel, bruh. Just announce, please. No, you gotta wait. If you don't wanna sit around and wait for the announcement, you can check for it tomorrow.
Abu, he only logs into.
You cut out.
12 years.
Maybe it's for the best. Just hearing you flaming somebody out, but just cutting out the whole time.
Where can we watch this?
Probably on my screen share on Discord is the easiest way.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear them though. I haven't really thought that much through, so that's unlucky for you guys. But here's.
Does my mic sound weird?
It just keeps cutting out. That's all.
I'm gonna watch on the stream.
All right. Well, here is one of my favorite clips from this one, and it ties in a lot to the Inferno rhetoric that's been thrown around. This is BF Rocket doing his 3rd Inferno KC, and it's hardcore. He's doing it with an MSB, an RCB, and burst spells. And he's a gamer, so of course he does it. And I'm streaming. Let me turn this up.
There we go, baby. We got it back. All right, nice. We got it back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Let's
yes,
go.
We fucking got it. What?
And he gets the pet. There's no way.
Oh my
It's
way.
a 3KC pet with an MSB cape. That's filth.
Dude, what?
That's respectable.
This
I
is
mean,
that's awesome.
filth. The guy's insane at the game. He's actually nuts.
See tree climb there.
Say, wait, why do you have to get it back again? What happened to his previous 2? Did he trade them in to try and get the pet?
I couldn't
I'm
tell
guessing.
you. I've only started
probably
watching BF
On
quite
task?
recently.
Is he on task?
Yeah, he was on task. He got 76
Yeah.
there from it.
I do have a channel point reward to do another Zuck attempt
for
whenever
Slayer.
somebody redeems it. Yeah, for the Slayer task.
Oh yeah, it's really good XP, isn't it? That's sick, dude. Congrats.
Conversely,
Lovely guy too, by the way. Really
Yeah,
nice
he's
guy.
insane at the game, right? As well, like he's nuts. So,
Really humble.
Go check out BF Rocket if you haven't already. Big gamer. Conversely, I've been lurking so much in Swan KBK stream while I've been working on all of this announcement
Sam.
stuff.
Beast.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite. I love this clip so much, bro. Wait. Some of you might. I think Behemoth put this in one of his videos recently, but just to spread out some of the discussion before we start talking about VLS and
you are
stuff
really
like that.
good at this Inferno thing. It is really quite amazing.
Oh boy.
Just kidding, suck my balls.
Oh my.
7777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777777
He's doing it. He's doing it. He's so focused. I can respect it.
I think I just tick hit that. I'm panicking. I'm
You just
panicking.
tick ate that.
My hands were like
Oh,
fucking
Sam.
ice. Were like,
It's still, like,
Man,
dude,
that's rough.
the worst
Watching
thing
people
is,
do Zark will never not get boring. Like, it's so intense, it's so hype, it's so exciting. What a great piece of content, devs.
the worst thing is, like, as a viewer, like, when I start hearing 7, like, I start for about 4 seconds, and I'm like, haha, and then after 5, and I can't imagine, like, getting progressively more pissed off while also struggling with Zuck and just not being able to turn it off because you can't look away and you just have to sit through it the whole time.
I mean, that's why you turn it off before you start Suck, right? Like,
My favorite is when somebody donates a text to speak on stream while he's at Zuck and Jad's spawn. It's all it says is range mage, range mage.
It's bad how bad the human brain is because legit all you want to do is like, oh yeah, I'll pray range, duh. Like it's what. What else did I have? I had a clip of Hooty Tooty sent this to me earlier today. Of the, I showed this to some of you before the stream. This is the most technically impressive thing I've ever seen in the Nihilocast room at the Theatre of Blood.
So good.
And I, again, like, legit, it's insane. Like,
Let's explain this one.
I might have to explain it, but this is filth.
Oh, I think I know what's gonna.
So wait, let me roll
Wait,
this
wait,
back
what?
for anyone that didn't clock. So my guy's ranging Nilo, right? If you peep this guy, if you peep his friend at the top, you can see that he's not attacking. He's fully just focused on Kujino here, I guess. He's switching from a two-handed weapon, and as you can see him switch, he like the best thing. This is perfect, right? He misclicks on his Blade of Seldor. Like, and then he just equips the defender, and in that exact tick, this Syria guy launches an egg into his and he punches with it for a 21. Like,
That's beautiful, man.
this Syria guy is the most mechanically gifted raider
Oh my
I've ever
God.
seen. That is insane. Like, it's
That's
so
funny.
good. And my last clip was I don't know what was going on in this room, but Flutton's Ring of Life at Zilyana.
oh, I have
know-
seen that.
I don't know
yeah.
what was going on with her clicks because they look fine to me. I don't know if it was just like world lag or something, but the combination of these goofy clicks and
'cause I can
getting
still go on
comboed
drives and
this
stuff.
hard. at
What the
Sarah,
fuck is happening? I can't click
Tara's
the
a horrible
corners
room, man.
anymore.
When I was learning, I kept getting dead clicks
I
in the
just
corners
messed
too.
that up every corner of this room.
Yeah, you always have to use a mini map.
That's
Oh,
so
she
cool.
did-
I did it again.
Yeah,
she
she tried to
Oh
click
my god,
there.
no fucking way.
Yeah.
Please. Holy shit.
Thank God for Ring of Life. That was a big combo for a main.
Yeah,
16,
like,
16, 16, isn't it?
This never happens at Sarah. It's literally
cool. I
like
did
what was
it
that?
again.
15, 16, 16, or like a tick
Yeah.
apart. That's
Yeah.
filth. That's so lucky. It's 9 hit points in a Ring of Life. Glad she's alive though. Thank God. I don't know. Those are just some
Yeah.
clips that I wanted to share briefly.
I want to do
Outside of
Sarah
that,
now.
if anyone's looking for some content on YouTube to kind of relax to while you're playing the game, I would recommend, first of all, the homie Jimmy just hit 1 million views on the first episode of By Release, which is one of my
Hey.
favorite old school RuneScape series of all time. And 1 million views on any old school video is insane.
That is
like,
massive, yeah.
The growth and the quality of this series, the storytelling, like the production, this series is so good. Jimmy is the boy. Oh, I love Jimmy. I love Jimmy to pieces. I love this series.
Same.
His recent
Real
episode,
funny guy.
RNG, like even the production on like the music that he started dropping like halfway through and has really stuck to. This guy is doing bits. He's just dropped like a display for the premiere of this season. So if you're not already, or if you haven't already watched it and you need something to watch while you're AFKing, Jimmy's By Release series,
Display?
very good. Yeah, display, you know.
Yeah, they fell
Dude,
off my
see-
fucking wall. Don't buy those.
Casper, no! Language. I'm trying to help the homie out. And outside of that, on the complete opposite end of the excellent storytelling and editing, voice crack, spectrum, we have this lunatic, this unhinged maniac.
Oh, shout out Limpwords. Yeah.
This
Oh man, this is wild. Honestly, why?
can't be bothered, man. This guy's a demon.
Wait. How? How did he get that top?
So he has like an extreme. Oh, he did loads of clues, like only in Lumbridge chunks, I think.
I guess he got lucky, yeah.
But Yeah, this guy has an extreme, like, chunk locked Iron Man. So because you can get the defense skill cape in Lumbridge, without unlocking any extra chunks, he got 99 defense in Lumbridge with a mithril scimitar, killing men and men alone. He killed 500,000 men with a mithril. He banked 5.5 million Herblore XP.
Yeah, that's
from
my
men
favorite part.
in like
That's
2
so many
chunks in
herbs.
Lumbridge. This man is unhinged, like, and women, like, yeah. But I don't know if you want something else to watch.
By the way, I PM'd you a banger clip as well.
Oh, okay.
Because the defense tutor is in Lumbridge itself.
Okay, it's West Ham winning the European qualifier in 2018 for the Jagex.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a
Beast.
user stream.
Shut up, man.
Come on, I'm serious. Click it. See for yourself. Open it for like
Killer
5
Pete over
seconds.
here.
I'm not clicking an unvetted link. Oh man, right. Before we move on to some other stuff, I reckon, there's 600 odd people. We've got 100 mil to give away. Do we want to run a marbles game now? Does anyone mind?
No, I'm good. Let's go.
All right. Well, thanks for the interaction, gamers.
Wait, can we also play?
Yeah, of course you can.
Did we
Can
win
we
the
take
100
part?
mil?
Nice.
Yeah, let's game. Right.
That means like 5 mil, man. I need this.
All right. First off, chat. Let's pick a map. Just
I
throw.
love that Twitch chat, before we even say anything, they all
So
know to
how
type
does
exclamation mark
marbles
play
work?
straight away.
Do I control my
Now
marble?
we're talking. This is my type of
No.
content right here.
You just type an exclamation point play, I think.
Exclamation mark
starts,
play in
I'm
the
not.
chat.
I'm not in the map yet. I don't know what kind of. Oh, what do we? Oh, some people are voting on maps. There's a vote for Frozen 2.
Frozen.
All right. There's
I don't
one.
like
There's
Frozen
one
2.
vote. Oh, you.
Frozen 2 is a bad map.
I never even saw Frozen
The
2.
only man on the planet who's like, nah, Frozen 2 is not what? Do you want Dust 2 or Office? What what do you
Yeah,
want?
it's
man?
genuinely a bad marbles map. What do you mean?
What's a good
Is there a
one?
Dust 2? Is there a
I
Dust
like
2
Marbles
now?
Diner. Go for 57.
Go for fit. All right, I'm trusting
All right,
Tedious.
so we got
Marbles
Gurus
Diner.
and shit.
All right.
When you do marbles on your stream, TDS, what's it for? Are they giveaways or are they
No,
like to do
I
challenges?
I generate a sub goal as well every stream, and it's like 1 of 5. So
Alright,
it's a 1 in 5 chance to get marbles as a sub goal.
Exclamation mark play in the chat. I think we're giving away 100 mil. I'm gonna give 60 mil to first.
CIA's in there.
What on earth was that?
That was
think so-
probably my spawn animation or someone.
Bro, did you join the game and just play like a weird tune?
Yeah, you can have custom like animations and
Oh,
stuff.
jeez, that scared me, bro.
My marble is a plane.
That's sick. Alright,
Right,
I'm gonna
anyway.
keep this open for like, I don't know, like another minute or so. I've not really, but yeah, first place I'll give 60 mil, second 30 mil, and third 10 mil. I was initially gonna give away 3 bonds and it didn't feel like enough.
Can I give away some bonds as well? On top of that,
Yeah, you can, I mean, anyone can
I wanna
contribute
give-
what they like.
I'm gonna give last place 1 month of membership. Last
Yeah,
place.
it would have been more, but my guy earlier, before the stream, what you guys
You have
didn't
20
see.
bonds. Why are you being stingy? For?
No, he
Give
doesn't.
it
He
a
doesn't.
don't
No,
want
no, no.
bonds, dude.
He doesn't
You don't
have
see what
20
happened earlier.
bonds. Before the stream, this man had bonds in his bond pouch, was trying to add 1 bond to an account, and used 7 of them, thinking the game was bugged because the 1 bond in his inventory didn't disappear. He
I was
just
taking out my
launched.
bond pouch, dude, and I just
no.
got rid of all of them.
You literally just launched 35 mil into the ether.
Well, I got membership for it now, but yeah, I didn't want it all at once. I wasn't
you kept-
merging the bond, dude.
I have done that before, to be fair. I have done that before.
I was in Discord. I was like, hey guys. I was like, dude, guys, look at this. I'm getting free membership from the game. I'm like, how is this working? And then I'm like, wait a minute. I've got bonds in my bond pouch. I open it. I'm using 12 or something. I was like, oh no,
It's you.
the
You
worst.
thinking you found a loophole like that.
Yeah.
Elliot Skidler's clip recently of somebody saying that they'd gift subs if he rolled an even number between 1 and 10. And he goes, Google, roll me an even number between 1 and 10. And there's like a 10-second pause. And his phone just goes 7. It's so good, bro. And he looked so
brilliant.
smug. He was like, bro, I've gamed the system. And his phone just shafted him. Alright, there's 174
lovely, yeah.
people in marbles. I'm gonna give it like, I don't know, 10 more 10! 9! I can't be asked. When this hits 175, I will start. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. 175. And then I got a spectate. Oh, it's 176. We're gaming. No. Oh, you're out. Unlucky gamers.
Press Alt, doesn't it show you all the names? It's Alt on the keyboard.
Baby.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Not helpful at the start, but
Oh.
I mean a little bit. Oh, I see my name.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I'm sure I can
Quick,
work mine out
boost. How does the boost work?
You can't
Oh.
boost.
Oh,
God,
I'm
this
getting
is
debated
worse.
by chat again.
This
now.
is harder than observing for the Trailblazer tournament that we did, which was awful. We got
Okay,
Daddy Kill miles ahead. Pure spam.
that's my boy.
Second
Hey, second
place.
place. Oh, you jinxed it.
Oh
I'm getting locked behind something.
Wow,
Bro,
I wonder who's gonna win.
my PC is not comfortable with the amount of OBS scenes and sources and also browser tabs I have open while playing Marvels. This is
This
so
is a really
stressful.
cool map. Who chose this one?
I
Oh,
chose it.
Tedious.
I like this one,
He
yeah.
knows that. He knows. Oh my god!
No!
Off she goes!
Wait, they're actually boost. The boost is
Oh wait,
working.
is boosting ape? Oh no!
Wait, how do I boost?
Exclamation
my second
mark!
place.
Exclamation mark! Boost! Oh no!
Just in the chat. Fill
You
up.
can do
with
that. Oh
spam.
my god.
Oh, the great
I-
equalizer though.
I always thought it was just a meme where people just get people to type
No,
it.
it is.
with
It is a
nothing.
meme. It is.
Oh,
a
Oh,
meme.
okay. Well, I've been debated twice then. Great.
Oh, sick.
I'm not even anywhere close.
Yeah, I
I'm not
mean,
even-
well, we've got like a top 7 here who are just miles ahead of everybody else. It's
Maybe I
gonna
could
be
get
a.
Latin.
Rigged.
All right, go on, Saucy. Let's go. I feel like Denny's still gonna win though.
Yeah. This man has been practicing marbles for ages in my stream, so you can tell that it's been paying off.
Oh really? Is he,
Practicing marbles. How do you practice marbles?
is he
Well, just
basing-
by playing it, you know.
Oh, it looks like Daddy's about to land 60 mil.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's even close.
No, he's gonna get stuck here.
This is
That's
a
how it
tricky
works.
part. Yeah, this is a tricky part right here.
Oh.
Oh no! He's been. Look at him go! He's gaming.
Oh, he's got it.
Damn.
He's got it in the bag. Easy win.
Easy money.
Could still be stuck in the wheel at the end, though.
I just saw my fiance briefly
Miles ahead.
into the top 10.
Hmm.
Oh, Daddy Kill. Oh, he's
Right,
okay.
here
Well,
he
that's
goes.
60 mil for
Really?
Daddy
And he's
Kill.
only gone and done it.
And are you giving money to last place that isn't a DNF, right? You're giving 2 bonds.
Go on then. But they've got to finish. They've got to actually come in last
WTF
place.
Pony. All right. Well, there's the 100 mil
they
given
fall
away
out,
already. I've just seen Tedious and Coxie fall off the map. Let's see who's finishing in last place. Poison Potion's also fall.
Viper. Okay, Viper's another one of the locals.
I'm pretty sure like there's a big wall that comes, doesn't it, after time, and it
Oh,
slowly annihilates
Lord,
everyone to
he
finish. So yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, he's not gonna make that.
Oh no. Oh Lord, he can't. No, there's no. Surely not. Let's follow his journey.
Oh, D Viper. I know that guy. I think.
yeah, he watches streams a lot.
Yep.
Oh, mad.
Oh, he's so far behind.
Yeah, which is
And-
exactly where he wants to be right now. Oh, maybe not that far behind, Chief. Oh no.
Nah, it's over for him.
Yeah, the storm is catching up.
Oh, you're in the slam up.
Plank, maybe.
I've seen some familiar.
And all
see
these
Saul.
guys are gonna get screwed.
I'm
see
seeing
Saul.
Jess. Oh no, it's a
Who's gonna be
massacre.
last then? Jessica, maybe on RuneScape or Phased.
Oh no, Jessica's
Very
gone.
well.
Is that pig money?
Big money,
Pig
go on,
money,
son.
let's go.
The voice of an angel. Beautiful.
Alright, I'm gonna need. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare.
I've been
I
trying to
need-
fix my mic settings. My bad.
I'm gonna need RSNs from Daddy Kill, WTF Pony.
Yeah. So that was my.
This is the tricky part. If you guys could whisper mildly. Oh no, my whispers are just
Everyone's
gonna
gonna
get filled
whisper.
up.
Yeah, I won.
How do we do this? RSN is wait, I don't want to. Oh, okay, that's on a monitor that's safe, I think.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, thank God, Jesus. I was about to link all of the webcam. I was about to leak all the links for people to just join on webcam. Can you imagine?
I saw, dude. I was looking at the Discord screen share, which is where you have like shown it, and I was like, no, he's not just gone and done that. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh.
no.
Benji, check your Discord DM real quick.
Okay. You've not sent me anything.
Right. I need to meet you, Mr. Pig Money. What's your RSN, you beautiful man, you?
Right. So I've got Daddy Kill. I got Daddy Kill's name. I'm looking for WTF Pony. And Eel 0087.
This is the only annoying thing of doing giveaways. Which I
Yeah,
find my
this is
streamers
really
do.
annoying.
You like have to pay everyone and sit around and figure it all out.
Was it Pig Money in last place?
Yeah, I'll give him some bonds.
Okay. Alright, I'm still looking. Wait, I'm gonna at him.
And not make a mistake and use my bonds accidentally.
I don't want to spend ages on this. Also, my... Oh, WTF Pony's gone. He's left.
He didn't want it.
Oh, no, there he is. RSN is in your in-game name, King. Or Queen. Does he know? What is your in-game name, sir?
60 mil saved, man.
He's out of here.
Very likely you just put play and then, I don't know, went to the bathroom or...
Yeah. Someone did mention they're giving 100 mil to play 69, so maybe you can check that real quick.
Check Discord DMs. I have 7 Discord DMs.
Please me.
Sorry.
Oh,
Right.
James, is that legit? This is a nightmare.
This is you, right? Pig Money, let me know in Twitch chat.
Show 69.
Whatever name James said is for third place is correct.
Alright, 69th is Soap Lamau.
Damn it.
Soap Lamau's won himself 100 mil as well, apparently. RSN.
You get away 200.
I don't know. Somebody said he was.
Someone else.
Somebody said.
XXX Dr. Dur XXX69 was giving 100 mil to the place 69.
Who is last? I think
Who
that's
took
been
that serious?
decided. But last was Pig Money.
I gave him his bonds. I sorted him out. He reminded me that he BS'd me in Cafe Bank during a demo mode once.
I don't think WTF Pony plays the game. Is Wetliss here? You were for fun? That's fine, that's fine. Is Wetliss here from 4th place? What's your in-game name?
This place is latchy.
And I think James from LMS's partner came 2nd. If that's true, because I'm not seeing anything from you, then I'll give these away now.
You would be correct, yes.
Is that 100% true? That's not like I'm not gonna get memed on and scammed, right?
Yes, it is 100% true. You are
Alright.
completely in the clear.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna log on to... Wait, let's... Gameplay. Ooh, look at me go. Look at the production value here, gamers. What do we think?
Oh,
Log on to my...
yeah, baby.
Ah, yes. Don't trade West Ham wish.
Leaked! Right. So... This... Zach. Cute overlay, right? Isn't it fun? I've got 2 days of membership left. Right. I'm on World 358. I've got Render Self turned on. World 358 West
Dude, I
Grand
wanted to drop high.
Exchange. Die Dead Kill. If you can add Mild Space Baby, that would be good. And James, the Method Marley was NHing? Yeah, I'm not. Who dis? Trade?
Almost the same thing again and used a bunch of bonds. I didn't mean to.
No, why have I been given 100 mil? Who's this going to? 69th place. Oh, okay. Alright. Oh my god. This is so stressful. I can't be trusted with this. Right. Die Dead Kill.
Wait. You're giving away 300 Wait, I'm logging in.
No, I don't think so.
No. It's all going towards the giveaway. Trust.
RSN is one shy.
Drop some items for those that are here.
Oh my god, this is so stressful. I don't know how streamers do
Even-
that. Right.
Even more stressful for you.
Die Dead Kill 160 mil. This is correct. I added them to my friends.
Yep.
The answer is to do giveaways. That's my solution.
Egg Orb was.
Oh, you look sick, PP. Sorry, I don't know if to call you PP. It was a bit weird.
Egg Orb 110 mil. I need James from LMS, presumably. Right, so one she was Soap Lamau, right? Can you confirm in chat? Because I think you've won 100 mil and a bond. Or like
Mate,
100 mil. I can't be asked to
The
enable
rogue
the bond.
top and bottoms and the hardcore helmet and the inferno kick.
Right. I don't know how much a bond is. I'm giving it 105 mil because I can't be asked to make it tradable right now. So there's 105 mil for 69th place. And James from LMS to collect on behalf of their partner. Oh, James is Colin Sawyer. I remember that, right? There's a lot of valuables on the floor. And Colin Sawyer come in second. It was 30 mil, right? This is definitely
Congrats.
This is James from LMS. James, type in Twitch chat, please, quickly, so I can move on.
James from LMS.
Bro, he's called Colin Sawyer and he got himself a several-day ban.
What did he get banned for? Wait, what?
Chat ban for being toxic in LMS.
Oh, you got muted. Oh, that's our LMS player, James.
Right. I'm going to trust. It's only 30 mil.
Dude, every time I log in and I read my CC, it's always James flaming saying, "How the hell did I lose? I got 70 hits off prayer. He only got 20% on me." Just every day I'm fuming, man.
Alright, I think we're done with marbles. Giving away way more than expected. It was like 200 plus mil. That's fun. I guess. Let me get rid of these. I can close marbles. I was so scared that marbles would stop working that I've had it open for 2 straight days. Oh, man.
Yeah, nice.
Alright. Next, what did I want to talk about? Let's talk about the VLS for a bit, shall we? We want to talk about the VLS, which will probably spark a wider conversation about PvP. And also, yeah, just a last reminder, check out Limpwa on YouTube, Jimmy on YouTube, watch the Spy Release series, and go ahead and check out, who were the clips from? There was Flutton, BF Rocket, Swan KBK, and Kujino, I think, with that insane Theatre of Blood gnome ball. Now,
You never check out my clip, kind of rude.
Yep. Weird that. Oh, what do you... Wait.
Feels bad, man.
Bruh, okay, well, it's light shot, so it looks a bit scuffed.
Oh man, so close, dude.
There we go. This is much better. Right.
How many votes was actually required?
14.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
14. The amount of people that turned around and said to me, I mean, the reason I remember to vote actually because Ben, bless him, messaged me one night. He's like, "You got 1 day left. Make sure you vote." And I was thinking about putting out a tweet like, "Hey guys, if you've not voted yet, please." And I wish I did now because it might have made the difference. But
My favorite
a lot of people.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say a lot of people from my community and in general, like when they saw that it had just failed, they were like, "Oh man, I didn't think it was worth voting on," or they didn't see it in the poll because it was so far down. It was number 21 out of like 20 questions that were nothing to do with PvP. Even though it was talked about a lot on Q&As and it was mentioned a lot by all the streamers and stuff as well. But oh man, it was so close, dude. So
this
close.
applies to real life as well. Your vote matters. Use your vote. Exercise your democratic right.
Vote either, right? I think
Yeah,
Jay
that was
forgot
my
to vote as
favorite
well.
thing.
Jay got to vote, yeah.
Jay Skillspecs tweeted saying that his vote wouldn't have mattered, and I think it was Aiza or Curse replied, being like, it failed by like 14 votes, and Jay was like, oh. I felt so bad, man.
Let's repoll it next week and it'll pass this time. Everyone will remember.
That'll be the 5th time.
Dude,
But I
Reddit
guess-
would lose their minds. They will get so angry.
I think a lot of the reason people are angry is because they don't understand. Like, what does the VLS actually like mean for PvP? If you had to like
Absolutely
explain it
nothing.
to someone, okay.
No,
So-
but like that's the honest truth. It means nothing to PvP. If it's only in PvP worlds, it literally adds nothing but variety.
True.
It's not it's not best for KOing. The only scenario in which it could be useful is if you have an opponent that's very far off the bank. That's the only scenario where it matters because you can snowball with it.
And the reason why a lot of people are misinformed, I guess, or don't realise the true power of the VLS or where it fits into the game is because the only place that people have seen VLS or maybe use it themselves is maybe LMS. And yeah, in LMS, it's very powerful compared to the other spec weapons available in terms of Outlast, like you just mentioned. And then DMM, where every single time we've streamed DMM and casted it, or it's been streamed and such, it's a case of like, this guy's got a VLS, he's got a huge advantage, he gets 4 specs, oh, there's a 60 VLS, that's massive. So everyone's perception, quite rightly so, understandably so, sorry, is that it's just crazy overpowered. But in actual PvP worlds, which are, the majority are a few steps away from a bank, from a safe zone, so getting TB doesn't really matter that much. And in general, you're using Edgeville style PKing, which is completely different to NH and to Outlast, like in LMS, and like in Deadman mode. Like you mentioned, it's not really going to change any matters for anything. AGS still better, GMAW still better, DDS still better, KO potential as well. Sure, it's a bit faster than AGS, but the only people that die to like quad specs like that are, noobs, or if you get max RNG 4 times in a row, which like never happens, and you just can't out-eat it. So it's a big shame, man, that it didn't pass, because it was perfectly, in my opinion, placed for being in PvP. It was a little bit on the strong side, but not anywhere near, not overpowered or anywhere near as powerful as people made it out to be, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't even
laugh.
understand. People don't really understand the impact that VLS has on PvP either. People have seen it used in DMM, they've seen it used in the DMM tournament finals, and they think that because it can hit 70s and it has 4 specs, that it is therefore too overpowered. But in PvP, it doesn't really matter when you have enough combo food to make sure you can't die to that.
Yeah. On a 5-tick cycle, food eating is 3 ticks, so like you can easily 56 HP every time, and then after 2 hits, you can get 3 eats in equivalent, so you're not going to die to it.
Yeah, exactly. Only, I'd say, the absolute bottom of the barrel PKs would die to 4 VLS specs in a row.
And someone in the chat made a point, actually, Bonerator, who does do a lot of skilling in PvP world. What? Oh, his name?
Just somebody in the chat made a good point. Bonerator.
Poor guy's
I
gonna
like his
change
name.
now.
he's a nice guy. He's been around for a long time. He
really is, yeah.
He does a lot of skilling methods in the PvP worlds, and he voted no because they affect him negatively in that regard. But what methods are they? What do you do in a PvP world to skill with where you need to outlast a PKer? What PKers are killing skillers? I want to know where this is.
It's so niche. Like it's just, I don't want to be mean, but like it just kind of just doesn't even matter at that point. I think if it's that niche, like, what'd you say?
I don't know. He mentioned it on Twitter to me, so I thought I'd ask as well.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough then.
Being bullied at Motherload Mine.
He said you don't matter. Martin, no.
Damn.
Oh, sorry.
That's
I wasn't an actual
I keep laughing at Pugging because every time anyone drops like any message longer than 3 lines, he just copy pastes it and starts to copy past a ruckus in the chat. This guy.
Collecting locator orbs. What's a locator orb? Is that for the clues or is that for the deep wilderness thing for the major editor?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just for the master clues, isn't it?
Who the hell is going to be camping the master clue spot to VLS someone else? No, I'm sorry, but
dude, that guy is going to be making bank. I'm telling you. People coming in with their full clues. What are those master clue books?
Master scroll book, yeah.
Master scroll books, yeah.
Dude, I want to camp that spot now. You voted no, actually. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really going to do that.
You legit never know what you're going to get though. Like, I'm terrible. Like,
yeah.
If I'm like running around the wildy and just like if I see anyone, I'm probably gonna start scrapping just because it's fun, like, right? And you never like the amount of Iron Men who die with like their full rune stacks on them because they're too lazy to deposit all and withdraw like 10 is insane. Like,
dude, I wish PvP World had some kind of like rare drop table with your skulled or something, or even if you're unskulled, and a chance to get like better loot for the high risk, high reward. It would never pass. It would never go into the game realistically because it would just change all the metas, and there would feel way more force to go to people. I understand that, but man, nothing comes close to the adrenaline action, like the not knowing what's going on, like DMM gave us. It'd be so cool to have a little bit of that on PvP. I know it's never going to happen. I'm not suggesting it should either, but man, it was so fun.
I would agree with the looting bag being used on PvP Worlds. That would be cool. I mean, and if we think about it, if the looting bag was available on PvP Worlds, how many people are actually? I mean, people are going to do it, obviously, but to the point that it's actually going to affect the economy, no. With the amount of PvP Worlds that we have right now, it would just be the people that really like to take the risk, and for those people, that's awesome content. That's an awesome update.
Even if you could just hop into the world to like put things in a looting bag, like that's still so dangerous. If you're like in a Slayer spot or something, you just hop in, and then that's the risk versus reward that you could do, I guess. But
just for clarity's sake, do you mean when you say looting bag in a PvP, do you mean outside of the areas it's already usable?
Yes, everywhere.
Okay, right,
everywhere.
Okay, just for clarity.
So like if you logged in though, you couldn't use the looting bag for probably like 15 minutes. So people couldn't do what Ian just said to like hop the world and then put stuff in the looting bag and then hop back.
So what happens with the VLS, right? Like, I don't know if it were up to like you guys especially.
I was gonna say this earlier. For people that don't really understand or aren't into PvP as much, When it comes to PvP world PKing, most of the time it's max hits that matter. When it comes to wilderness PKing, especially deep wild, it's accuracy that matters. And that's why the VLS is so good in the wilderness. Like the VLS is meant to be mostly, I would say, a wilderness weapon. It's meant to outlast fights. It's meant to have more accuracy, to do more damage, and to outlast your opponent and win fights in that manner at the cost of a high risk. Because I think if you die with VLS, you lose whatever money is in it to charge it, right?
That is if you don't protect it, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
You don't always lose the 50 mil, otherwise people could just be dropping bank every single time.
That would be crazy though, right? You lose every single time. Like you get to use this really, really good weapon in the deep wild, but if you die with it, lose 50 mil. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, arguably yeah, that's not that bad of a suggestion, honestly. I can kind of get behind that.
I would have preferred a way to like imbue it, like how the imbues work and the untradables work. I think that's a nice way to add PvP weapons and items to the game, because like it takes a lot of time to get them, like LMS for example, and you got to charge. If you get smited for it, you still lose that money. If it's just going to be your +1 item, yeah, you're right. People are getting a massive increase in like, you know, for no risk. But a bit like how Fire Cape and Torso and stuff like that works, and I guess B gloves are deleted. But the way you fix stuff, like having a VLS like turn into 1 mil cash extra that the PK gets, for example, and then you've got a broken VLS that you've got to fix for like 1 mil extra, you know, 1 mil put it back into it. Just an exchange of GP between PvPer to PvPer.
Just
that
that.
could be a nice way to do it.
I will say something that's not necessarily on topic with the meta or VLS or something like that, but the current stance that we're at right now, VLS is at a complete standstill. It's in the game, but it has absolutely no use. And I have no idea what Jagex are going to do from here. Like, I'm all out of ideas for what they can do. They've tried polling this so many times that if they poll it once more, there's going to be an uproar, and they either have to choose between just deleting it or like forcing it into the game.
Yeah, I think that's important because like a lot of people are just like, why do they keep polling this 4 times? And it's like there are loads of people with this item that currently has no use, which is why it's being polled so many times. Kind of on like a related note, but obviously it was a lot of PvP stuff, and there's not much. Are any of the LMS items, do they have like a collection log entry?
Halo,
Nope.
maybe? No, I think we do Halo. Actually.
We never. Oh,
Dude,
add
I'm telling you
them.
what, give us that, yeah, give us the Halos. Also change the Halos. For some reason, you can buy the Halo and sell it back for even less tickets. Like you lose tickets, what are they called? Points to change them.
No idea what the
But Castle Wars isn't like that. You get 100% tickets
Yeah,
back, I think.
I've
which is
been
annoying.
saying that since release.
I want to
I've
wear the
made a
cabbage
tweet about
one.
that.
I bought the wrong one. I bought the Severn one.
Aiza said not yet.
Because-
We're
Not
gonna
yet.
see
Oh,
PvP
not
tedious
yet.
soon. Let's
Oh
go.
god. Honestly, I would not mind LMS items being on the collection log, because I played a little bit of LMS in my time, not that much, and I'm pretty bad at it, but I would be pretty okay with having to do some PvP action as well.
You could go down the Rendy route. You could get Liwa to put you in
Respect.
a big cage until you.
Let's not go that far. Let's not go
In
that
the
far.
maid outfit. There we go.
Yeah, okay.
Between
Yeah.
the Swiftblade, the Halos, and the
Pet
Deadman
as well.
cosmetics. Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
think there's
lot
a
of
collection log
points.
entry there. To be honest, I think that's kind of cool though, right? Like,
It doesn't take that long to get all that stuff anyway. Like even if you're a really bad PK, you get like occasional kills, or if you just opt to go to the bot world where it's just free points, it won't take you more than
honestly,
anywhere near as much as the other collection log stuff.
Try explaining that to Reddit.
give LMS a pet and watch the hunters scream. I'm joking.
That would be interesting.
I'm joking. That's maybe too controversial.
I mean, there already is a designed rot pet in the game that Jed made that
What?
they could.
No, that's
Yeah,
two things we
there
probably
is.
shouldn't be talking about. Two bad ones. You know.
I mean,
The pet, was that like a little member that follows you around?
yeah, it was just a
I-
rot character that followed
I
you
want-
around.
I
Jed
want
tweeted
a
it like 3 years ago.
I want a like a corpse, like bones and skulls with a spade attached to it, and it's like shackled at your leg or something, so like dragging it along with you.
That's kind
Maybe,
of
I
fun.
don't know, maybe not. I think a pet would be cool though. I'd love to get a PvP pet one day.
I don't know.
Something to go for, you know, something to grind towards.
Outside of this, what's happening? Is like, do we have any more points about like the VLS quickly?
I mean,
Or
the
just anything
VLS
related?
suffers the mistake of Jagex polling everything. It's just
A
an
poll
example-
system,
like,
man.
To me,
Poll system sucks.
yeah,
Oh, boy, here
to
we
me,
go.
VLS is just an example of the poll system being broke.
What
It was a decent idea at the start, but I genuinely feel like the majority does not always know best.
Yeah,
well,
this is. This
so
is
there's
what-
so
oh,
many
go
people
ahead.
that vote against. Oh, sorry. There's so many people that are voting against things like wilderness content coming into the game, and they hardly ever step foot inside of the wilderness. If you have been in the 5 minutes in the last month, I don't think you should be able to vote on wilderness polls. Or say it's been 6 months, you've been in the wilderness for like maximum half an hour. I don't think you should be able to vote on a huge wilderness poll that would be very exciting for people that actually spend time inside of the wildy. I don't care if you got PK'd by somebody doing a clue 4 months ago and now you're pissed off and you want to vote no to the polls. Like, that's not how that they should do it based off of activity in the wilderness for these polls.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the poll system in general. I think it was necessary when the game came to be, because there was such a distrust in Jagex from the player base, and we didn't want them to make the same mistakes they made of EOC. And so the 75% gateway into bringing new content to the game, because we wanted to keep it authentically old school, was like really important. But now 8 years on, the game isn't 2007 Scape. Like, it's completely different. It's its own machine in its own right. And sometimes I think, yeah, I want to give Jagex or the old school team more of a choice in doing the updates they think are best for the game. I know a lot of the community would
Agree.
disagree with that. And think
No,
they're going to do
big
bad
agree.
things, but the limitation of the poll system, the way it works as well, the fact that 3 no votes are the same as 1 yes vote, doesn't speak like, doesn't make sense to me very much as well.
Other way
Somebody
around.
said, why can PKers vote on PVM/skilling polls then? Okay, so let's put this in the opposite perspective. Let's say that the majority of the community is for PvP, and it's completely flip-flopped, right? Would we be having this discussion on the PVM side of things? Would PvPers be spite voting PVM content? Probably not, because
We got to gain from it, yeah.
What I'm trying to say here is the effect that, let's say PvPers do spite vote PVM polls, it doesn't make a difference because they're too small of a community to even mean anything, right? And they do, most PvPers, I shouldn't say very few, but there's not too many PvPers just do PvP. A lot of PvPers actually do PVM content. There is not that many PVMers that do PvP content.
Yeah,
I vote yes to every poll.
Not to
pretty
say
much,
they wouldn't
like
be
most
good at
things.
it though. To be fair, like, I don't know, if you took somebody like Plugin or Lake or like Latias or whatever, and like threw them into LMS, I'm sure
Those
they'd
are some
slap
big
some
names
people
right
silly.
there. Oh.
I'm sure they'd slap some people silly. It's just like, I guess it's whatever you want to do. I'd say that I'm inclined to agree as well. Like, I think the poll system's cool, but I think Plugin can be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Plugin would sit me down as well. Like, the guy's just really good at the game.
it gives the community, and I was saying for a long time, it gives the community the sense like they choose the direction of the game. But as we found, at least as a content creator pitching ideas to Jagex for many years, PvP related and otherwise, usually Jagex decides the game path a year in advance. Like, they have a schedule where they're going to be like, right, in summer we're doing this, in April we're doing this, whatever. And we got a glimpse at that a few months ago in the Gillinor Gazette, right, with their plans of 2021. And like, realistically, I think we all do trust Jagex for the most part, to in the old school team, to keep doing the things, because a lot of them are players themselves too, keep doing the right things. I'd like to see maybe at one point, maybe the poll system not being a case of this comes into the game or doesn't come into the game, but more so, here are our opinions as a community. This has got like 60%. They're like, well, not everyone's really that much agreement. Oh, this has got 73% or whatever. And they're like, oh, that's a vast majority. You know what? We'll do this. But at the same time, I don't know. There's pros and cons.
And have like a way that you could like say yes, but I want it to be tweaked a little. Like, I don't agree with the proposed whatever, because this is what happened with the blowpipe, right? Like, they thought it was going to be 3-tick and it ended up being 2-tick, or there's so much content that's come into the game and it was like, yeah, we like the concept, but this is way too underpowered, this is way too overpowered. There's never been an option to voice an opinion on that.
Yeah.
Like, say yes, but you've got to change this, right?
Well, maybe, I don't know. It's difficult because, like, at the same time, someone made a really important point there in the chat where, like, we trust the old school team, but we don't trust Jagex. And ultimately, if we do get rid of the poll system, it opens up the potential that they can just do what they want. But I don't know. I'm just tired as a PvPer, and I really do appreciate Jagex and the old school team really trying to do things differently now. Finally, it's long overdue, but they are trying to, like, get things to pass. And it was so close to the VLS poll, and this is hopefully the start of a lot of different changes in the next months to follow. Stuff like the blighted items coming back to PvP worlds, or like we talked about earlier, maybe the looting bag being used in other areas, stuff like that. Like, it's definitely a step forward, albeit
I think
long overdue.
Wait, is that actually happening or not though? The Blighted stuff coming to PvP, because I feel like I've heard that so many times, but nothing's ever been.
That is, I think it was being talked about. I hope that happens because that would be also cool. I think blighted items in general are I think they're a good idea. Kind of lowering that cost of the supplies, which is so huge when it comes to PvPing or just doing anything in the wilderness in general.
I think oftentimes as well, like on the comms front, like the old school community gave Jagex way too hard a time when it comes to like why haven't we heard anything about X, Y, or Z right now? Like even just like me, like wanting to talk about events and stuff, it's so difficult to like say anything without it having to go through like 55 different hoops so that you know that you'll actually be able to deliver it. Like it's really difficult because if you say one thing that does not happen, then you're just gonna get lambasted forever.
Yeah.
And I say that my like closing thoughts on the poll system is that one of the biggest things that I think I like the most about the equipment rebalancing changes is it's like one of the first times in a long time that Jagex have stepped in and said like, we love you guys, but when it comes to like voting on the health of the game, we know best. And I think that's like valid. Like it's like Ian said earlier before we went live, if you give people the option to vote, they're always going to vote to make the game easier for themselves. Like, and that's not like a bad thing. That's just
human
how it
nature.
is.
Yeah, it's just how
But
we
it's
are.
like I've gained a lot of like, especially when they like more or less like held fast on the blowpipe nerf. I don't know. I gained a lot of respect for Jagex. Like, it was really good for me to see that they cared more about like the health of their game than pandering to some like screamy members of the community, especially.
Yeah, that was really good to see, actually.
Yeah, I want to add as well, Ben being in here like for the whole duration of the stream while we've been nattering away for the last 2 hours plus is really awesome too. Like, obviously he's friends with a lot of us as well, but it's his weekend and it's late at night, Saturday evening. So yeah, respect Ben for communicating with us. Shout out to Aiza.
Yeah, cheers,
The
Ben.
beast.
Oh, wait. Yeah, Aiza. Yeah, okay. It's
I
my Saturday as well, man.
Yeah, you too. Man. You've done a fantastic job hosting a pod, to be
shift
fair.
from appreciating Ben. You said like you were just going on about like how there's a lot of hoops to let's say like I don't know, confirming that there's going to be changes made or that they're working on something. I kind of feel like with PvP there's way too much radio silence. Like with the VLS, for example, I think we were left on radio silence for about 5 months maybe. Where an item has been in the game, it's still in the game. There's people that have like 400 mils sitting in VLSs, and there was nothing said about it. And I was,
I'm not able to use mine for a year
begging for a reply, and nothing happened. I feel like something like that shouldn't be so hard to just be like, yes, we are planning on polling it or making some changes or having it come like into the game back again at some point.
I think in like one regard though, you guys are lucky. Like PvPers especially are lucky that Aiza's back on comms and like the community team's growing.
Yes,
the
no,
school
I
team's
definitely
growing every
agree
year,
with
like because Aiza's always been like even like back in when did he leave the first 2018? I think was the first time he left, but even before then, I think he's always been like a big like champion of PvP, and it's good to see the community team growing. Like Sween's team is growing, like the bot busting and anti-cheating team is growing.
Oh, the anti-cheating stuff on Twitter, man.
Oh, bro, I've got something prepared for Mod Tyrant's Twitter soon. But yeah, I think it's just good to see the team growing, and I think there are like there's a lot more capacity. It feels like for them to talk about like a lot more things and appeal to a lot more communities, including the capacity to bring old school to Steam. Wow, what a perfect segue, wasn't it good?
Wait, when is
Uncapped
Amazing,
FPS,
well done.
baby.
Thank you.
144 frames
weeks,
per second.
Uncapped
What does
apparently.
that mean? What is the frames per second change going to do? Like, what does it result in?
No idea.
50 to 1, whatever it is.
When you move your camera, it's going to look buttery smooth.
As far as I understand, it's like uncapped, and it's
Nice.
it's a C++ client, which I presume is using OpenGL. I didn't actually beta test, but it means that RuneLight's GPU rendering plugin, as far as I understand, and I'm not like a programmer or anything. I've got a pretty rudimentary understanding, but RuneLight's GPU plugin kind of cheats a bit, and your GPU takes some of the load off your CPU, but it's still pretty processor intensive. As far as I understand, obviously you won't have all of the like, you know, the useful quality of life that RuneLight does, but for like a new player, and Steam's market is huge. Steam's like, the number of prospective players out there on Steam for like a free-to-play game that's likely going to sit at like the top of like most played for free-to-play is insane. And it's going to run on like the worst possible rigs. It's going to run on like integrated graphics cards on laptops at like insane like smooth.
Does anyone know anything about like the results of RS3 on Steam so far? Because at the start it obviously brought a massive increase of new players, but did they stay? Did those numbers like stay up there, or how is that current situation? Because I have no idea.
I don't know.
I can check the player counts right now.
Because I think one of the reasons I think it's really important. Yeah, I agree, Ben. It's huge that there's a C++ client, and like the thing is like Steam's market share is so big that if you're a prospective new player and you're playing this game that runs like clean as on like any rig, I think that's like a big deal.
I was thinking about it before, like I was like, oh, but are people gonna miss out on the RuneLite experience and all that stuff? But then when I think about it, when I was a new player, we didn't need RuneLite. Like the RuneLite stuff and all the things it offers are really helpful, but they're helpful for players that have been playing for a long time or for at least a couple of months. So I don't think it will hinder anyone's ability to get into the game if they're new or they ever want to try RuneScape.
Yeah, I think it's huge, and like obviously I think there's a lot of complaint from like vocal veterans about the amount of content that gets developed around the early game and the mid game. But the game's a subscription-based model. As far as I've heard from everything Mike D said, MTX is never coming to old school. It's always going to be a subscription model, and for that to work, it needs to keep new players in and retain them. And I feel like the Steam release, coupled with like kind of front-loading the early game and mid game with actually like good, engaging content, is quite important. I don't know. I think like it sucks if you're like an in-game
fuck
player.
the high-level community.
No!
Oh, whoa, dude.
That's strike two!
You're out of here.
But it's like when you get to
Steam release did make
end game, there's not. I don't know. It's easy
Yeah.
to be
Steam release
frustrated as an
did,
in-game player.
I mean,
The
not
Steam release
not
did make
every
it player
content
count.
has to be end-game content. I hate that mentality.
100%. PP, go ahead.
The Steam game release did make it go up. It was like averaging around 40k. It went up to around 56k, and right now it's sitting at around 52k. So it's been gradually increasing over time, actually.
That's still a big, that's still
that's
a large
pretty
amount
good.
of players.
Did you say that was RuneScape 3?
I will
that was
say
peak players for the week.
I will say to RS3's credit, RS3 outside of the interface being spooky as, but maybe it's just spooky for me coming from like the old school interface. I feel like the mechanic, like the gameplay of RS3 is probably better at retaining modern players.
Yeah.
Like the kind of like adventure pass and the tutorial in RS3 is like kind of handholdy, which is like fine. It's just like what modern games are like. But in old school, I think I haven't tried adventure paths because I just like put that I'm an experienced player because I'm kind of a big deal. But like for new players, I think like the new player experience and adventure paths might help it a bit, but old school does not hold your hand. You finish Tutorial Island, it's like, cool, I cooked some shrimp, and it's like, oh, here you go. Also, it's like 58 minutes to like walk from end to end or something. Like, old school's massive, and it doesn't tell you much.
It's
I
gotten
think it's
better,
much
but
harder.
yeah.
Would you consider that a good or bad thing?
I like, I mean, that's what makes it old school, right? Like, it's hardcore, like, you get into the game, and the world's your oyster, I guess. Like, you kind of just can do whatever. I know there's a path system for new players, but then it's like
really
when you look at the
interesting, actually, that you can
reviews
do
in the
that.
App Store, it's like, oh, I walked north, got killed by a mage, lost all my stuff, and then logged out and uninstalled. And I'm like, yeah. Like that's part
10 out of 10.
of what's
Yeah,
memorable.
true.
But I think I don't know. There are like two things at odds where it's like preserving that old school feel and appealing to like a modern gaming audience who maybe like trends in gaming recently, especially. Don't really like lend themselves to those kinds of experiences. Like a lot of people aren't used to playing games where it's just like, in you get. It's like Dark Souls 3 or something, right? Like you spawn in and it's like, here's the controls, and then 4 minutes later it's like, here's a massive boss, prepare to die 74 times in a row. Like games like I don't know. You need to be a certain kind of person, I think, to get into it.
Yeah, like
once you get
arguably,
in,
I
it
think the
grips hard,
majority of people don't enjoy that style of gameplay. I think a lot of people would rather I don't know, like play something like Call of Duty where you're instantly thrown into massive bits of action rather than what old school has, which is I don't know, walk and go, like kill like 150 goblins and then move on.
150,000 men. Get your defense cape in Lumbridge.
I think it's hard for new people to like get into the game on their own, and more people will probably stay if they already have a friend playing or someone to like rely on to ask questions and stuff. It's very hard to like never have played OSRS and then getting into it on your own.
So when I started OSRS, it's been 3 years ago now. I'd never touched the game before. I never touched it in RS2 or anything like that. But I did have a friend that did play the game, and he helped me through the early stages of it, which I think was massively helpful. And then of course you had YouTube, you had the wiki, which also helped out a ton. A lot of people have the mentality of, well, you know, just throw them in the game, they'll find their fun. But you really do need somebody to, you know, put you in the right direction. And if you don't have a friend to do that, or you don't know to look up any guides or anything, you're going to have a really hard time.
Yeah, when they first brought out Steam for RS3 initially months ago, I was kind of like a little bit, oh, I wish they brought out OSRS at the same time or they delayed it, because a lot of people might go to RS3 and then be confused and be like, oh, this is RuneScape people are talking about, this isn't the game for me. But actually, like, it makes so much more business sense now why they did that first, and got all their, you know, those players to play in now. Hopefully there's been enough time that people check it out on the store, be #1 as a free-to-play game.
Yeah,
enough of us will move across to it too.
I will say also, to RuneScape 3's credit, the game is not that bad. It's really not. Like, it's quite fun.
It's the
it's different.
Really it's the MTX that creates such a bad reputation for RuneScape 3. That's honestly the problem there.
I was like, I don't know, I made an eye and I managed to like dodge a lot of it, but I actually quite enjoyed. Make sure you wishlist old school RuneScape on Steam. I got you, King.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Oh,
everyone together.
Somebody,
Steam,
I think it was Stewie called
Don't
me
you
out
have to
for
pay?
having.
What?
No, it's free.
I'm genuinely excited.
Yeah, I know,
for
but
the,
like, what happens if you wishlist it?
How do I do
you
it?
get a
Add to your wish
notification when the
list.
game's out.
Cool.
What, am I getting paid or what? Give me money.
No.
I'm not doing it for free.
Oh man, those
I'm genuinely
requirements.
excited for this uncapped FPS.
All right,
this is gonna be.
This has turned into an Aiza shill stream. Make sure you wishlist old school RuneScape on Steam at the request of Jagex Aiza.
Oh man, those system requirements, baby.
Oh wait, let me have a
4
sniff.
gigabytes of RAM.
I gotta see that.
Minimum. 200 megabyte available space on your storage.
Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Nice.
4 gigabytes of RAM. You got that?
Barely.
I mean,
I gotta download some more, I think.
Not gonna be able to have Robo at the same time, that's for sure.
That's
One of the most
insane.
interesting things I saw about the uncapped FPS though is that you work like, well, I don't know if it will completely remove dead clicks, but apparently it will at least like
yeah,
make
I
you
heard
get
that.
less dead clicks. That's a massive change.
Uh-huh.
Like, to me, that's big. I might
That
use
is
Ditch
huge.
Runelight as a whole for that.
And not just for like
Yeah, no,
PvP,
yellow
but for
click,
like
that's
some for like me as a hardcore. That is big news, because you know dead click can mean death sometimes if you're in some dangerous PvN content.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
so these pictures that they've got on the store, that's how it's actually gonna look in game, because it does look way cleaner and way smoother.
It's like, because it's like a proper OpenGL GPU, as opposed to like a kind of pseudo cheat, as far as I understand. I think like one of the things.
Probably went to
It does look gorgeous, man.
One of the things that would be cool.
So is it gonna look like Runelight does with the GPU mode on?
Oh, better, dude.
I
Even better.
imagine it probably will look better. I could be wrong, and I don't think it'll have.
Confirm.
I don't think
someone
it'll have.
said no.
I don't think it'll have tweening, which is animation smoothing. If anyone plays with that.
Wait, it's
I
gonna
believe
have
Poison
animation
Potion-
smoothing?
No, it won't.
Oh, okay. I was
imagine.
about to say, count me out. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I know this is kind of unrelated, but on the topic of clients, with our event announcement, which is I'm probably going to do in like a couple of minutes.
Oh,
I think it would be so cool, like somewhere down the line. I had this conversation with Odablock's manager Mo, who helped run Oda's King of PvP tournament. I think it would be hella neat to be able to like, have like a tournament client almost, with maybe like a couple of like useful plugins or something that had like a unique signature, and like you wouldn't be able to log into like a certain tournament world without this client, and then like you wouldn't have to deal with like adminning anybody cheating or anything like that. Like, I don't know. Just a random
What,
thought.
like everyone
That'd
can
be cool.
access, or?
Well, yeah, I mean anyone who's like playing in a tournament or something, but yeah, maybe things like DPS meters or like, you know, like the PvP tracker plugin's pretty good.
Yeah,
But yeah, like make it more user friendly to look at, kind of thing is what you're saying as well.
It's also just
For
like,
viewing experience.
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
It was pretty much Mo's idea, but I thought it was cool, and especially with PvP stuff coming up soon, in like a couple of minutes, it would be cool. It would be neat. I'm sorry, I'm stalling, for what it's worth. There's no tweet ready to go yet. I'm stalling.
The Steam client won't support Windows 98, guys, so I just want to...
That's
Yeah.
count me out then.
I'm taking it off my
Yeah.
wish list. What's the point, man? What's the point?
It doesn't support XP either. Ugh.
Steam client.
So
only,
when it comes
Tony's?
to
That would work.
when it comes to the Steam client and like the C++ and that, I'm not know anything about development and that, but does that change anything for botting? Does that make it easier for them
That,
to be able to
yeah, I was
bot
going
and
to ask that.
or how does that
made
change?
it easier to detect?
Good point.
Does anyone know any geniuses?
I thought I heard something about that, but I probably not confirmed. Maybe.
Like, will that have a negative impact on the game in terms of loads of bots? I mean, to be fair, bots are really bad.
Any
in general.
botters in the chat?
But yeah,
Yes,
That's
the
fine.
stats. It sounds if you were running like bots with like I don't want to talk about this. I feel like good GPU easier to find than good CPU. Probably easier to run mini bots on good GPU on GPU based client, but that could be wrong. And I'll say no more because the anti-cheating team is kind of killing the game at the moment. On the topic of that, let's. I'm gonna keep stalling. I'm gonna segue perfectly. We chatted a
On the
little
topic
bit.
of anti-cheating,
Oh, okay,
actually,
okay.
before you move on, I think, like, for people that make reports on Twitter and such, if mods look at it and genuinely do hand out a punishment, I feel like it would be nice for that specific JMod that looked at that topic or something to say this player has been dealt with. I feel like that would just mean that we report more, because in PvP, I feel like it kind of feels like we're speaking into the void whenever we report someone for like AHKing or like clienting and stuff like that.
True.
Just
I mean,
a
League of
little
Legends
bit,
has the
like-
same
I think-
system.
Just a reply, anything.
I think the usual like counterpoint against that is that people that would bot would use that to their advantage to like find how they actually spot them, and then they report themselves, and then if they get caught because of that, they know that is because of how they had their bot, and then they can change it or something. I know that's basically how.
I mean, maybe for bots, but I was more so like the referral I was making was more so towards like clienting in PvP.
The
but I
the
guess
issue with
it could
PvP
apply
and
there
client,
But it
too.
can apply to that as well.
Yeah.
Right?
the issue with PvP and clienting is dude, I don't want to bash the anti-cheating team because they're all full of such lovely people and they're really hardworking. And I think the reason why it's such a problem in PvP is because they just haven't been given. This is just my assumption. They haven't been given the support from Jagex and the tech or dev investment, because everything needs game engine work, right? Like Clan System does, Iron Man Group does. Apparently, I assume that better cheating detection also needs that kind of that work being done. But whenever I've sent in clients and cheaters, I do get replies from the anti-cheating team. They're all really kind when they do get the time to do it. But the problem is that a lot of the time that I do report these players, they just can't find the evidence because of their systems and the way they track stuff. And it's so bad in PvP. We've always complained about it, but it's honestly terrible now. Like it's just ruined the entire high risk scene for years.
I will say
Such
that
a
I
shame.
understand it.
It's
sucks.
starting to affect every scene in PvP at the
It-
moment.
it
The
sucks,
hybriding
dude.
scene was fine for a while, but I think in the past year or so, it's taken over a bit.
Yeah, it does suck. I kind of understand it as well, though. Like, I think if you're talking about like game integrity from like a botting perspective, you're probably more interested in dealing with bots who generate gold and like artificially kind of inflate GP as opposed to
Yeah.
PvP, which is a transfer of wealth.
Dude, I'm so tinfoil hat when it comes to like the botting and the anti-cheating and Jagex's like overall stance on it. And I don't know, like obviously it's a subscription-based service, as you said before, RuneScape, so Jagex has a financial incentive to sometimes allow bots to get away with it, or in general not ban as many bots,
wait.
otherwise they stop
Ma-
botting, all
make-
that kind of stuff. This is big
Make this
tinfoil hat
quick.
theory, by the
Make
way.
this quick. Make this quick. The announcement tweet's just gone live too soon. So
All
I need
right.
to show
Well,
the
yeah.
video.
I don't know. It's just like a yeah. So I mentioned
Right.
that as well. I never
Announcements
know.
occurring. We're gonna watch it on the stream. You guys should be able to hear this. Here we go. It's our first event series coming up. The trailer's been put together by Hootie Tootie himself, legendary gamer. Let's hope this works.
There it is, a beautiful double
So
goal. 2-0 for West Ham.
How did they
progressing
so
to the
hard?
next round.
Auto block, camping that tank very well, not taking too much damage. Lemon Lime just took a bolt off prayer.
Look at this, he's completely taking control of it. The third. There's another redemption from I'm So Happy. He still has 3 doses of restore as well. He can still keep this in. Goes for the claw, 25 damage coming in. Both players use a redemption, and I'm So Happy's gonna take it at the end.
Very good here for Morrow. This is a... Wow, look at this! In 3 hits! 40, 30, 30!
How insane, bro!
Hootie, you're genuinely a beast.
How insane, dude!
If anyone watches that on Twitter again, the redemption little animation he does is just so clean.
The redemption animation,
icing.
the claws. I'll say
Yeah.
we. Oh, bro, bro. So
We're such
Jamie,
nerds, dude.
Jamie, our creative director, literally, he made this graphic, right? He sent this to Nick, and I told Nick, Hootie, go nuts. And he went nuts. Sorry also that the old school music was playing for the start of that. I totally forgot because I'm a moron. But it's on Twitter. I'm going to spam link the tweet in the chat actually. But Pleb Central, Jamie, our creative director, literally sent this graphic and I told Hootie to go nuts. And there's one part of it that's just insane, and I can't like replay the video and pause it. But he overlaid this like metal overlay and took this green onto like a globe, and the metal overlay for all the countries like moves when so good, man, so good. It's insane.
Yeah, big fan. It's
really impressive.
It's going to be a lot of work for the Method team and yourself, Benji, to keep organize this and get it all sorted. But having a month of straight weekend after weekend after weekend of PvP tournaments to look forward to is, dude, it should happen years and years ago, man. Having some kind of event like this and some kind of finals to slowly build up towards, and like brackets. I look forward to seeing it and seeing how it's grown upon in future events too, and hopefully Jagex maybe watch it and do a few themselves as well.
Talents to be announced, Sparky. I mean, yeah, the benefit is that like we're an esports organization. Jagex have a game to develop, so I don't blame them. How can people apply? If you click on the Twitter link or go to twitter.com/method, or if you type, I need to change the title maybe, !Method Mayhem, which has been here the whole time. You could have looked at the notebook commands and seen this early. That has a link to all of the sign-up pages. So what's going on is, well, there's 4 regions. We have Europe, US East, US West, and Oceania and the rest of the world.
With price balls for each and every single one, by the way.
Wait, is the link up? Can everyone see this okay?
Can see
Are
the
you
link.
trying to put it in chat?
Everyone's saying links are disabled, and I don't understand.
Yeah, they are disabled.
If people type it.
Nightbot, !Method Mayhem, then it'll work.
Yeah, !Method Mayhem in the chat, gamers.
Does
They
the
should
link
be
not
showing
show
up.
up?
Nightbot's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're in any of those regions, there's a Matcherino page. Signups are open. The formatting is essentially that on the Monday before, we're going to be running up to 128, I think, kind of off-stream qualifiers where you'll just play all your games at the same time. And I'll kind of We'll run the games, we'll determine the top 32, and then on stream we'll be doing double elimination, which as far as I know has not been done before in old school RuneScape. I think it's the best tournament format. I love double elim so much. I think it's the coolest. I think it's the most exciting. You see it in Smash. You see it in like a lot of.
I never understood why like they made it so good. But, yeah, but the way that you explained it, Benji, is so good.
Well, the thing with double elim is that you have to lose twice to be knocked out of the tournament, right? In a game, even if you're playing best of threes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With like an RNG thing, like double elim means that you could get unlucky. If you're from Canada, would you classify as West or East? Whichever one gives you the best ping, you can apply to either. Like, this is the thing. I can't, how many gifted to go staking? I can't, like, police where people are from, so it's just, like, apply to the one that suits you, because all of the games are going to be played on that ping, and if not, you're going to be disadvantaged. But yeah,
Are we allowed to answer Shawnee's question?
Shawnee's question, will Jagex be giving us worlds for this? Not right now. They're crazy busy, essentially, and this has come together quite last minute. Like, for Jagex to give us worlds, I need to do a better job at getting stuff over a lot sooner, because there's a lot more than just asking for a world. It's like, you know, right now there's tournament worlds being used for beta testing and things like that. Like, there's a lot that has to go into those kind of conversations to make it happen. So for now, we'll be choosing the worlds as well, because I'm running them like back to back on weeks, on weekends even.
I think this will be a big success, and if everyone in the Twitch chat, you know, tells their friends about it, and we keep pulling hype about it, it will grow and grow, and we get to the point where by the time the finals come round, and hopefully it's like as seamless as the last tournament you guys put on, the Trailblazer one, then Jagex will see, like, you know, they want to work with you more, better, hopefully, and can offer us some tournament worlds in the future. Right, that's the plan, I'm
not
guessing.
to mention that we also had a lot to learn from the Jagex's 1v1 tournament, so hopefully any mistakes that were made there, we can take from and learn and improve on.
Yeah, Stewie, it basically has to be first to apply. So the reason is, and it's not ideal, if I'd done invite only, then I have to invite 32 people from every region, and people who aren't invited are going to be annoyed. So the easiest way to do that is to have like an off-stream qualifiers with more people, like 128 or 256. It's possible to apply straight away. Yeah, should be.
Go.
Yeah, so basically I have to do something with more people, and that means I can't invite like 128 or 256 people because it's way too hard to do. So it's going to be invite only. If you're not a good PK, you probably shouldn't sign up because you will likely get smashed. There's like $1,500 per regional qualifier and 3,000 in the finals. So it's like $9,000 in total. Obviously, if you're not a great PK, you can apply, but you'll be wasting your time. There's no point, because you will get smoked by better PKs. So yeah, basically offline, like off-stream qualifiers from the first 128 to determine the top 32. Then a double elimination tournament running every single weekend. It's going to be about 14 hours of stream content a weekend, give or take. I'm going to be working like 20 hours, 5 weekends in a row to make these events happen. So, if you look at, is Tedious still alive? You still alive, King?
I am indeed still alive.
Tedious is he's gonna beat 10-13.
I'm gonna win this entire tournament.
But yeah,
that's my next stop.
If you're a PK, sign up, get involved. You definitely should. I mean, you know, you stand to win. If you win the regional and the grand finals, you yourself stand to win $3,000, I think, regardless. Another 10-13
Are you
win.
participating? Westham, are you going in for it?
Yeah, I'll be going in for it.
Nice.
I'm hoping that I can at least take the EU one, and then I don't know. I'm assuming that 10-13 is probably going to be coming onto the final, so we'll see.
Easy. Yeah, you can say that you've won EU twice. You've got Jagex's in 2018 and now ours.
If I lose this one, I would actually be kind of tilted. The only one that had a prize pool.
Is it already 3 years since the last 1v1 tournament?
No, Jagex ran one in summer of 2020, didn't they? During COVID
last year as well. Yeah.
Plugins gonna come smoke Westham. That means you have to win NA qualifiers. You have to come top 8.
It's definitely not been 3 years.
I'm gonna get the setup on stream quickly and see if Casper can maybe
during that
talk us
trailer
through
as well, I would like to mention: can we please get Perp to commentate another?
I mean,
Perp is very good.
I'd be
He's
keen.
genuine. That was legit one of the best tournaments I've seen
Alright.
when he commentated.
This is from one of the sign-up pages. I guess. What is that gear setup? I had a lot of calls with a lot of people, and then kind of brought everything that I'd spoken about beforehand before Westham and Manked. We landed on this. Westham, why? What makes this setup good? What separates, I guess, like a good PKer from a great PKer in this setup?
In my opinion, this setup just makes being caught on robes a lot more punishing compared to camping a BSS. But obviously, there's people that are gonna agree and disagree. But I think 4-ways is a lot more like it's a lot more skillful than 3-ways. There's too many people that are just able to one-tick 3-way barrage. Everyone can basically do that now. It's a lot more punishing to get hit on robes, like I said. The shield switch, I just feel like it adds a little bit more skill.
Surely you're just going to camp that dragon square and bolt people's heads off.
I guess that's why, because I know, like, I think it was you and Mank maybe disagreed on whether or not to go with a Brimstone or a Berserker ring, but I guess with the shield switch as well, like, properly switching onto a Mage's Book, like when you have a Brimstone ring, makes freezes more impactful. Like, actually properly switching to Mage's Book matters more.
I'd say
right or
arguably
not?
Mage DPS could be a bit too much here, but I doubt it.
If you're having problems joining the Discord, like, if you've joined the Discord and Maturino is telling you no, you should just be able to force your way through it and it'll be fine. It's just a bug on the site. It's not
Does
ideal.
it have to be Dusk Mystic? No. Oh yeah.
Charge
about
staff
that.
and no anti-venom. Oh, Casper, have you...
Yeah, okay. Okay, see, you can't put that on me, man.
You should just be able to ignore any error with Discord and keep on joining. Yeah, it's not ideal. It's a problem on Maturino's end. We tried to get it fixed after the Trailblazer thing, and we got it sort of half fixed, but not entirely. But, like, don't live and die by... So, once you join the Discord... once you've joined the Discord, anyway, there'll be, like, infographics in the server itself. But you should be able to join the Discord, and then there's like an error message you can ignore, I think. I imagine so, because we've had people sign up already. If there are still issues, basically, I'll try and get them resolved as quickly as possible, and then I'll tweet out any updates regarding signups and stuff.
God, I'm so hyped for this. Weekend after weekend, something to look forward to on Twitch.
If you don't have a maxed account, I mean, if you have access to an account that you can compete on, and a friend will lend you a maxed account, like, I have no problem with that. Obviously, share accounts at your own risk. Pure spam. But,
I wasn't waiting for that.
Oh my god.
The master craftsman. I'm joking.
Oh god.
Damn, I didn't know there was gonna be shots fired this stream.
Right.
I'm messing. I love Ian. Oh, but yeah, I'm excited. It's been a little while since the end of the Trailblazer tournament. Obviously, we had PoisonedPotion, Westham, and Dino casting that. Or you were hosting, I guess, PP. How did you find that? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, that was like I said before, it went better than I thought it would.
5 hours of range bowling, wasn't that fun?
I mean, if there wasn't like, if we actually like, that was the only downside. If we had more variety. I mean, every time we saw an ounce of variety from one of the people that was in the tourney, we just clanged to that, and that's why the whole mage gang thing started. And we had our dragon warrior, and so that was interesting to come from that. But yeah, most of the entire tourney was just bolting.
It was so funny
4 hours.
seeing, like, Robert rolled up in full bandos with, like, an AGS and got beaten by, like, the Dragon Warrior, just range rag bolting. Voss rolled up with full DH and hit, like, 0 on, like, sub 40 hit points, like, 3 different times, and got beaten by range rag bolting. It got to the point where...
Oh, are we talking about the Trailblazer tournament?
Yeah. It got to the point at the end where... I have the VOD just up quickly. It got to the point at the end where Shawnee and Maining, who were first and second respectively, Hashtag Blazers.
You couldn't think of a better final right now.
So they're just doing some range training before the final day comes.
I didn't see this final.
Yeah.
If Gary takes this, he does win the whole
We have
thing.
recoils as well.
Yeah, you gotta have your recoils on. You got
Now,
to just
Dragon,
smite one
if you
tick
take a
rune knife
personal
combat.
This is how
It's so
you make
good.
esports make a real
I mean,
difference.
respect to them for
Yeah.
actually making it
This is
somewhat
what we need.
interesting, considering both just had bolt rag, but
Yeah, legit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Hype
dude.
match, just flashing up.
Yeah, that'll be Darren's high point.
That's good.
Yeah, I really need the bathroom. Is there anything you guys can talk about for like 2 minutes without adult supervision?
That's gonna be a tough one, man.
Oh, please.
I think all of our jobs consist of us just talking random stuff to Twitch chat all day long and finding things to talk about. So it should be good.
Alright, talk about random stuff. Right, go, please. Oh my god.
Honestly.
Anyway,
Well, anyway, if there's one thing that, well, we were talking a little bit before the stream started about, I saw somebody mention this earlier too, was that skull tricking. The thing with skull tricking, like I had said, I wanted there to be more fighting back in the wilderness against PVMers, and it seemed you guys were more so for not getting rid of skull tricking. I myself, I don't think skull tricking belongs. Well, I mean, I don't think it should be in the game. But what's your insight on that?
For myself personally, I'm at a stance where like I don't really care what happens if they remove it or not. I do kind of feel like they have already babysat skull tricking enough to the point where like the turning off player attack options is in reality like the easiest way to avoid yourself getting skull tricked. But
then you don't fight back.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. I don't know.
I honestly
can't tell the difference between an I and an L.
I kind of agree with PoisonedPotion honestly, and a lot of my PK friends and all that will probably think that I shouldn't feel this way, but I do want to encourage PVMers that go to the wilderness and skills that go to the wilderness to want to fight back and have some kind of way of fighting back. So, but equally with Westham, I don't really care that much. Like I don't know. There's so many pros and so many negatives from both sides that it's probably best just to leave it as it is. But if it was to change and you weren't able to get skull tricked, then it wouldn't be all bad. There'd be some pros for the PKs too, because it mean that people bring more risk or actually like try to fight back and then end up risking it more because they're not having to just focus on eating alone. They're focusing on switches too and their prayers and stuff. So there's
Anybody
pros
that
and
goes
cons.
into the wilderness anti-PKing instead of just bringing in tank gear to tank whoever gets on them, they're going to bring more risk regardless. But obviously, if you get a skull trick on them, you'll probably still get more money. But if they were to do that and more people came in with anti-PKing, that would happen.
I think as well though, the whole skull tricking thing, I think people watch Torvesta's videos and Frames videos and these skull trickers videos, and the reality is it takes them like 6 hours sometimes of standing in a certain location trying to get a skull trick off. Like, yeah, it only takes one skull trick to make it worthwhile for them. But the reality is barely anyone is trying to skull trick in the wild the ways that they're doing.
Yeah, I think
obviously
it's
the
more
fear of
hassle
getting
than
skull
it's
tricks.
worth.
Yeah, it really is. Like,
I agree with that.
I kind of feel like as well, like Reddit does bring up a lot of the times I feel like I've seen that the reason I don't fight back the reason I don't go in the wilderness is because I can't fight back without the fear of getting skull tricked, and I almost want to call bullshit on it because it just feels like one of those things that no matter if they change it or not, it's not going to make an impact on the wilderness activity at all.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, man said Reddit and you activated my graphic. Full disclaimer, I actually use the old school subreddit quite a lot. Like, I don't know, as much as it makes me sad, I still look at it like pretty much every night just for the memes. But if you guys are thinking about making your first ever Reddit post and you just want some easy karma, here are some options that you've got. The higher up you go, the safer a bet it is. Mod Tyrant going nuclear is probably the most impressive one. There's like a real trend right now of if you just turn on tweet notifications for Mod Tyrant to make sure that you are the first person to share his tweets on Reddit, then you're going straight to the #1 spot. Like, there are just so many. This is the thing that stresses me out. Like, every single post is like a variation on like these themes at the moment. The T-bow is better than blowpipe at every boss point. I've seen so many times, and it makes me angry. Like,
That's why it's one build.
T-bow is good like 5 places in the game. T-bow costs like 300 times as much as blowpipe.
I can't believe it's better than this stupid pipe that is 4 mil or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people say like, oh, people are not going to be able to attempt certain bits of content without having a T-bow now. Like, why is the T-bow so strong? You're only benefiting like the end game players, and I kind of feel like, yeah, you paid 1 bill for a bow. It should be better. Not everyone should have access to the best item in the game.
Again, it's like the wilderness thing. Like, if people are always gonna ask for an easier way to get things and things to be fair, like not fair, but you know what I mean, just to be able to get stuff without the actual time investment or the risk investment or you know, without any payoff. So it's another example of that.
There needs to be more risk, I believe, going into the Wild. There needs to be more risk. I think the Chaos Altar with Noted Bones, that is one of the best updates that has come from the Wilderness in the past few years. Because it's so perfect with the risk versus reward. Do I take 200 Noted Bones? Do I take 300 Noted Bones? How far am I willing to go with this risk? And then you get compensated that with just as much reward, because you can get over 1 million prayer XP at the altar if you're willing to risk enough. And I think that's how the entire wilderness should work. You know, if you're in the resource area and you've got 300 noted magic logs or 300 noted ore or 300 noted dark crab, you should get increased yield, and you just keep on getting more and more yield up to a certain cap, of course, until basically you are catching them much faster and getting the benefits from that. But if somebody comes in and kills you, you lose like 2 or 3 mil.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Just quickly, for anyone who's having issues signing up to Mecherino because you can't hit the continue button, this was an issue last time that I thought was resolved, but it's maybe not. I'll be tweeting like any updates at Method Mildly, and we'll probably update the tweet that we put out at
A load of crab.
Twitter.com Twitter.com/method or Twitter.com/method mildly. I will tweet out as soon as the issue is hopefully resolved. I might even have some kind of answer. The fix is being released tomorrow, apparently, but there is a workaround I might be able to tell you about sometime during the stream. But if not, don't sweat. Try again tomorrow and it should be okay. Anyone can enter, Robert.
There's no DDS in the setup though, Robert, so, I mean, yeah, we can't rely on those big numbers.
D-Claw is interchangeable with AGS, but other than that, yeah. But yeah, this was just a little bit of background noise if you wanted to get some karma coming up. These are some easy ways to do it. Especially prominent as the salad row PK complaints. Those are really good.
I like the literally any PK is bad energy.
Oh yeah. You just tweet like,
it's that easy.
Oh, what was my favorite? Like people in a PK clan at something that's not funny, and it was just some like brainlet meme going like lol, and I'm like.
Oh, with somebody in the chat saying, Will the Altar is the most posted update to skilling, and there's no risk at all versus the reward. I agree with that. I was talking about Noted Bones. Like, the suicide method. The suicide method at Altar is just ridiculous, and I don't know why that's still able to happen.
Yeah.
You should be able to use Noted Bones.
They should have fixed that ages ago, I feel like, but I don't know.
Maybe they should have made like a bit like how the Rev Caves work, how you pay a fee to enter. Yeah, and if you die in that area, you lose that money. Like, that would just solve it, because that would mean, well, if I'm going to risk 100k every time, I can't just suicide every time. I want to bring better gear, and I want to be able to like bring food, and therefore it's actually worthwhile at this point for me to bring bones noted, and then I can, you know, like get better XP per hour and stuff.
Is that a copy pasta?
Is it possible to bring back Soul Wolves?
It is now.
Bro, Soul Wolves is in the game. What do you mean?
How's Soul Wars doing now that it's like quieted down? I haven't been on recently. Is it still like pretty active in that? Or?
I think it's still largely, I don't know, like controlled by CCs. I don't know though. I've only played like 4 games. I can't really speak on it too much.
It was active when I got the first item, but I'm not looking forward to getting the cape.
There's 1,000 people on the Soul Wars world, 320, compared to 400 in the previous one. Oh, it's a BH world, that's why. That makes sense.
Easy. Yeah, I haven't played any Soul Wars at all. I've not really logged in much. I've been like really, I don't know, been so busy on I want to say I've been busy on the PvP tournament, but making this graphic probably took about like, there was a whole week worth of work.
While we're on the subject of wilderness again, sorry to jump back into this. I will say earlier we were saying how people shouldn't feel forced to go into the wild. The only, like aside from I guess the best in slot Mage Cape, is the which just makes sense lore wise. It's always been from the wilderness. Is the best XP per hour. I can kind of see where skillers are coming across there and competitive players where they don't, Black Shins are the best. I thought the what's that game called? That you go to the island in Zaya and you fish things with your hawk.
Aerial fishing.
Oh, that should be best in slot XP per hour. That is sick content. That's fun. It's just terrible.
I hate that place. I did that. Zaya only Iron Man. Yeah.
I thought it was
not a big fan.
Oh really? I thought you just meant you hated Zaya, and I was like, my guy, you
I
picked the wrong region
that
to
little.
look your
I hate
Iron
that
Man.
little island. I hate the fishing meta. I'm not a big fan.
Oh right.
Because it gives you
Yeah,
hunter's mod, isn't it?
I think that, like, if you're doing, like, Black Chins, for example, that's just kind of your risk versus reward. If you get PK'd, then you're not going to get the money, and you're not going to get the XP if you get PK'd, because it's going to take a lot of time to re-gear and everything. But if you don't, then you do get the XP that is better than anywhere in the game. I think that's a fine mechanic.
That's a true point as well. That's a good point.
Oh, man.
I feel like every update that came from Wilderness Rejuvenation 1 was good, and then everything after that has been kind of bad. Like it hasn't really had a positive impact on the Wilderness.
I can't remember if they made the revs thing public or not, but I remember seeing a graph at some point. Maybe this is something I don't know if I can say. I don't know the numbers, but basically I just remember seeing a graph, and when revs came out, the activity in the wilderness in terms of people being there and people fighting each other was just like through the roof, like nothing we've ever seen before in old school. It's a shame Revs are gone. Or not as
I
good as they
like
used
the
to be.
current version of Rev K, but I also feel like Revs, since the release, has been the complete opposite of what Revs was pre-OC and what everyone had in mind when we said we wanted Rev K.
Yeah, they nerfed the GP per hour way too much and then said they'd go back and fix it months ago, and they haven't done it again since, and I don't think we'll see it anytime soon. That's a shame. It should be more a priority. Have you got many more wilderness challenges, TDS, for your series?
Oh, I'm currently doing one. I am going dry as hell at Scorpio, and that's been great fun the last week.
I saw you got the pet.
I did, yeah. Spoilers.
Oh, sick.
Oh. I didn't see anything.
No.
Like,
What about you,
happened,
Pipe?
It happened on your stream.
Yeah, I know.
Are you still going for stuff as well, PP? I saw your robes earlier. You were flexing on your hardcore Iron Man.
Oh, I still got to get the last piece of Dagonai hat that the engineer got like 2 times on his hardcore.
Oh.
Well, I mean, he's not doing very good right now, but anyways. I still need to get the wilderness weapon, Dagonai hat, and as far as items in the wildy, I think that's about it. Obviously, I still got to do all my prayer training at Wildy Altar, but that's a whole different story.
Oh God, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
it's going to be Casper. Going to get Kanini on their first multi-trip. What's the bounty on you?
Wait, actually, you don't stream yourself doing it, right? So.
Oh no, it's all that's all.
Yeah,
that's
I was about to say that would. That series would be over in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I do wildy steps on stream though, but I just censor my screen.
You ever been caught by someone or like attacked by someone while doing a wildy step on stream?
There was one time where I think I was attacked by somebody, but I was like near a teleport. I've never been teleblocked on stream, but I think I have been ice barraged, and yeah, it's pretty scary, especially when I get there's like a couple of elite steps on that I do not like doing on stream. It's the one that's at the north of the volcano. Not that many people are out there, but if somebody was scouting for me, it would be just a death sentence because it's all multi, and its nearest escape is a little ways away, Obelisk. And then the Rogue's Castle, and Anakarl. Anakarl is another bad one.
Sorry, just quickly, the continue button stuff. There should be a fix coming hopefully tomorrow. Apparently, some people have had luck. I think if you just like spam retry, some people have managed to get in. I don't know. We had this same issue with Trailblazer. Apparently retrying works. If there's like an error message that pops up, you can just like force your way past it. And to the question about do people have to stream in order to play the 1v1s? What about like render self and stuff like that? Ultimately, it's tricky. It's not really my job to. Well, it kind of is. Basically, if people cheat, people cheat. We're gonna have event admins on the day who will hopefully be able to do everything they can to stop cheating. So, for what it's worth, if you have any event admin experience and are a big old school gamer, then DM me on Twitter at MethodMildly, because I need to find people to fill some admin slots for like 5 back-to-back weekends, and it would be cool if you could add them, because I'll be doing all of the observing as well as just helping run stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Basically, I care mostly about putting on like a good broadcast, right? I care mostly about things running smoothly. If I decide to make everybody screen share before every fight and like show their task manager and screen share every single fight, it slows things down. What should be like a 7-hour stream turns into like a 12-hour stream, and then nobody's having fun at all. I don't know, it's like a really fine line. We'll have admins, hopefully cheating will be on the down low. And fingers crossed, is all I can really say.
Sweet.
Also just seeing if I can get an update about the continue button being grayed out, but it should work if you spam retry. Fingers crossed.
Oh, he's got it now.
Sick.
Well, something I wanted to touch on was Wildy Slayer. I think Wildy Slayer is probably something I think the wilderness needs is more variety in places that you are PKing, or rather go in the wilderness. And I think really Wildy Slayer is the best thing for that. If it was better, because currently right now it's kind of dog shit. If it was better, then we could actually have more people around the Wildy, just giving a little bit of variety of, oh, this person was just traveling here. Oh, now you find somebody else. Now they start fighting, or and then that person that's doing Wildy Slayer, maybe they bring an anti-PK setup. Maybe they want to risk a little bit more, so they end up killing the guy that's trying to PK them. I don't know.
Wildy Slayer was a great concept, but it has absolutely no reward, like you said. So there's no incentive for anyone to do it apart from, arguably, I guess I think it might be best points. I don't even know if it is that.
It is, but it's very close to just Turiel skipping. Turiel skipping is a little bit less points an hour, but it's
completely safe. Yeah,
exactly. And it should, like, Wildy Slayer should be, at the very least, it should be better money than regular Slayer, but it's not. It's not better money. It's not better XP. It's not even close to the XP because there's no bursting tests. There's no superior monsters. It's just bad, all around bad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the issue as well is that they can't introduce any form of like unique to any form of PvP content. Like even Revenants, to me, the way it was released from the beginning, just dropping supplies, that just felt wrong to me. Revenants was like a I don't know, like a budget corp where like you either strike lucky and make a shit ton, or you get absolutely nothing. And then we released it in old school and none of it passed, so we had to settle for just continuous like high reward drops non-stop.
Yeah. There are a million ideas that have floated around for years on years, like when it comes to wilderness updates and suggestions, whether that be the basic drop tables, which we've brought up so many times, haven't been balanced since the game basically came out, since the wilderness came out. It's still the existing drop tables, which is just so outdated. There's the wilderness slayer, like you just said before, how the Lawrence keys, they tried to make them better in that cave, but it was still so little, and in general it's just such a low drop. And then when you actually get the Lawrence key, it's only marginally better than a Konar key. And then you've got, like you said before, the uniques. You've got the ideas of like wilderness implings, clue scrolls that are specific to the wilderness itself. When the wilderness changes come in, the boss changes come in, if they can hit all these marks we've been asking for years, and they put in like a lot of dev time, I reckon it could be massive for the wild. But it all comes down to whether the team decide that they want to make wilderness really rewarding, which it should be. And that's the thing that I'm concerned about, because like when we look at revs, for example, they nerfed revs, but they over-nerfed them, and still now it's been months they've just been left. So it's really about that balancing. There's got to be enough reason to go to the wild, enough reward for the risk.
When mentioning the Wildy Slayer, I did see Aiza in chat saying until the wilderness changes, though. Am I right? So
Yeah, so
there's,
hopefully, yeah, in 6 months, I think, or 9 months. It's a bit to wait, but it is on the agenda, which is better than previous years.
I mean, knowing that something is going to happen is still better than having complete radio silence. I don't know if these changes are being polled. I hope not, because if they are, then
That's
that is
never
in the bin.
passing.
Yeah, exactly. That's in the bin straight away. I don't know. I think PvP suffers a lot as well from the PvP community itself, because we discuss things and we shut each other's suggestions down constantly. I don't know. It happens everywhere. There's too much discussion almost at times. I feel like too much arguing anyway.
Somebody brought something up in chat that I've wondered for a while here. Anyone mentioned less worlds for Wildy to be available on? Hopping worlds isn't fun gameplay. I know this is probably a problem that a lot of PKers have that want to PK in certain hotspots and just can't find anybody to fight.
I'm against that entirely. I think it's a band-aid fix. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, is it then? Sick.
You just have an aneurysm, or what was that?
I don't know. Saying it's a band-aid fix, I'm not sure about that.
No, it is though, because it's not solving the root of the problem. It's basically halving the worlds so that these PVMers are now in these worlds, and then there are even less of them because there's still not enough risk in the wild. That's the problem. There's enough players in the game. There's just no one going to the wilderness. And yeah, you got to cycle through a lot of worlds, but the reason why you got to cycle through a lot of worlds is there's no one to find, because there's so many. Yeah, there are a lot of worlds to go through, but if there were, let's say, like a 500% increase in per world players in the wild, it wouldn't be the case where you'd hop around 30 worlds in one location to find someone. Every couple of worlds you'd find people because it was worth being there. That's the issue in my opinion.
The thing is, they constantly add more worlds, so the wilderness has to progress at this. Like, it has to. The population has to increase at the same rate that they're adding worlds.
Yeah. So they add more worlds.
Do we have now?
They add more worlds because the player base has grown. There's more players in game, so each world still has like a lot of players on it. It's just that less and less players year on year are in the wildy because of the lack of reasons to go to the wilderness, because of the lack of rewards. So I think that if you just remove access to the wilderness in some worlds, it would just mean that there'd be even less reason to go to. I don't know. That's what I think.
I will say one day.
For that to work, they would almost have to remove PvP worlds. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry, PP, go on.
That's all right. I did one day look up how many worlds were available back in heyday 2007 when PKing would have been at its peak, and it was nearly half the amount of worlds that are available now. With player base with player base that is not as big as it was back in 2007, to say the least. So I don't know. I mean, nobody wants to hop around, even in PVM aspects. Nobody wants to hop around for a long time trying to find an available spot to do Slayer or whatever. But I don't know.
My only concern with that is that if you funnel more PVMers into a certain area and increase the chance they're going to be found by PKers without increasing the reward they're getting from it, their risk is increasing in a way that the reward isn't. So it's going to end up them hating us more, and in general, being in a worse situation.
I think
I think the reward is more important. Although, to be fair, mentioning that statistic you just said, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe seeing some of the worlds removed, but I think there are better ways to do it, or better ways for the game to do it.
I think it's tricky.
It's hard.
Well, I think part of the way that we play the game now is that we play an MMO, and the only people who really play the game massively multiplayer clans. Like, otherwise, the majority of your time spent in the massively multiplayer online game, any other player on your screen is a direct hindrance to you playing the game. Which is why there's so many worlds, right? Like, especially with Iron Man, like, you can't, if we still had like the number of worlds that we had in 2007 with Iron Man,
I hope
you can't do Slayer.
I hope Clan System brings out some kind of system that actually encourages people to play together more. I don't play with people enough in RuneScape for an MMO, apart from the occasional raid.
Well, there's just the group content. It's really hard to. I think in other games it's more intuitive on how to. Oh, I want to do this group content. Okay, well, if you want to do that, then we'll set up a system in order for you to get with other people. If you don't have friends that are playing this game or knowing people that play this game, you're not going to be able to get in unless you're really social. I guess you go up to people at the GE and say, hey, you want to raid? Anybody want to raid? And I don't know.
Have you tried 416 top?
Matchmaking
with randoms is great.
Yeah.
Dude.
Bro, 416 top is the most toxic experience I've ever had in my entire life, bro.
Oh.
It's so bad. It's really bad. Yeah,
exactly.
I think IM was massive for old school, but it has like changed. I think it's changed.
Taken the MMO out of MMORPG.
Yeah, everything's just about
taking the
single player
MMO.
experience for some reason. It's a bit unfortunate.
I think it's difficult because like Iron did a lot. I probably wouldn't still be playing if I weren't playing
Yeah,
Iron
same.
Man, to be honest.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, Iron Man. I think Iron Man. I mean, I might be biased, obviously, but Iron Man is kind of huge in some aspects because I would probably not be playing the game today if it wasn't for Iron Man. I more than likely would have quit when I got cleaned at the Duel Arena. It puts a new perspective on a game that once you feel like you've gotten tired of it, throws a wrench in there and says, "Hey, this is a way that you can play the game now. It's completely different, but still very interesting at the same time." And for a lot of people, they love it. You know, for people that's not for, I guess. But there's having that option there is really good, I think.
I mean, I don't think obviously not right now anyway. I haven't attempted Iron Man, and I don't think I will in a long period of time. But yes, I do agree that I think Iron Man was huge for OSRS. But what I do think the problem is that it's created such a divide because originally they said that they weren't going to cater towards Iron Man, and then throughout the years we've seen that gradually increase to
But that argument's
almost
very
everything
true.
being catered towards Iron Man.
I feel like equally though, like as a game development company or whatever, or any kind of like business, you're going to want to cater to your players or your customers. So to say that just because they said it once, they're not going to cater to Iron Man, and now they're like starting to do Iron Man updates, it does kind of make sense. Like
Also, I will say it's not like
I agree,
Jagex's,
but
it's not
that's why
Jagex's
there
fault,
is a
right?
divide.
It's not Jagex's fault. Every update that is quote unquote catering to Iron Man is because it gets 75% approval on a poll system. It's the player's fault.
We're back to the poll system.
This is why the equipment rebalancing is good, because Jagex have said we know best, and I genuinely think they do. I love the poll system, but I think it's what makes old school so unique.
Man.
Pardon?
I think with the general direction lately, it's pretty exciting.
I don't think they're going to re-release EOC.
Could be shooting themselves on the foot.
Do you want EOC? That's what you get EOC. That's the big argument that people make with the polling system.
But there's a massive difference that people need to realize as well. That pre-EOC, Jagex didn't really care about player feedback all that much. I mean, they cared a little bit, but not nearly as much as they do now. So even if Jagex are forcing an update now, and there's a huge uproar about it, if they actually get proper feedback to why this change is bad, and people can make a compelling argument to why this change is bad, then they will most likely take a look at it with the current team we have. Pre-OC, I didn't really feel like that was the case. I kind of felt like they dropped something, and whatever happened, happened. I mean, EOC, I don't know if that was better for the game. I think RS3 probably would have been, no matter if we got EOC at the time we did or not, it probably would be where it is now anyway. But EOC definitely should have been a gradual change. Rather
Maybe
than
EOC saved the game.
Drop.
Maybe EOC allowed OSRS to happen, obviously, so wouldn't be here without it.
The Discord permissions for the tournament Discord were incorrect.
I don't know. I'm tired, alright.
I've just opened the tournament Discord to about 74 at everyone. So I think I fixed it.
I think we were talking about like sorry, my brain is fried right now. I've not spoken to people in such a long time.
Yeah, I'm really tired too.
I was gonna say in general, like the direction of old school and that is it's really exciting, to be honest. Like I know we moan as endgame players, especially people were saying earlier that we haven't had any raids coming out in a long time or really much going on or in general, but like there's some really exciting things to look forward to, and I'm super hyped for this year, more so than ever before. I'm the most burnt out of the game I've ever been, I think, or like the least interested in actually like wanting to play, but I'm the most excited for the future and for the updates coming out this year. Should be really good.
To that as well, saying for the
DMM as well, yeah.
Yeah, for the people that play for the PKers that play OSRS in a very competitive manner, I think this year for sure will be one of the better years in terms of tournaments being held by both Jagex, Method, different types of private people doing it. I don't know. I think it's going to be a big year for PvP, honestly. Maybe not so much in terms of updates, but at least in competition and tournaments.
Well, they've set the precedent now that they're happy to do polls specifically to PvP players, more niche communities. So that can only, continue to improve and give us more opportunities. We've got the wilderness changes. We've got Deadman mode. We've got the Method events. What else do we have, PvP wise? I think that's a big bulk of it. I'm sure we have other stuff too.
There's another Deadman this year, right?
Yeah, DMM.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll do a.
I wasn't even looking at Twitch yet, but that's huge. Deadman's like, in terms of like Twitch presence and stuff, like later this year. That's nuts.
It's also not just going to be DMM. Like the problem DMM had for years was that it was just it was like repetitive and there was like lack of updates and lack of dev work. But they've promised that they're going to put the same amount of dev work at least into this, like they did with the Trailblazer League. So it should be something really special.
Cracked, my guy. Like, because this, when I was running the Trailblazer tournament, loads of people said, "Wouldn't it be cool if you could run like a Deadman tournament?" And I was like, if I managed to somehow get like an old Deadman world and I ran a tournament, everyone would be like, "Yeah, this sucks." Like, because I don't know, dude. Sorry, my Discord is exploding at the moment. It's stressing me out.
Trailblazer Deadman mode where I can 2-tick bolt everyone. Let's have another one of those.
Sounds like a Fortnite update to me.
Oh, Dead Rag mode. That's good. That was something else.
We've been talking a lot about Reddit today. On the topic of that, it kind of blends in with Twitter too. I feel like a lot of people here can agree that I feel like I find myself arguing about things I don't care about a lot. And I don't know if arguing on Reddit or Twitter even is productive anymore.
Never was.
I never find myself arguing about anything, actually.
Mm. I find myself falling into that loophole a lot with being a content creator, like being a nerd and passionate about the game, wanting to get my points across on that, but then equally being like, why obsess over it or why get down about it? Because you can't really change a lot of things out of your control. Just accepting that.
Yeah.
I feel like Tia's just sitting here getting more progressively drunk as the evening has gone on. Because he doesn't have much to say, no one can.
I'm just sitting here drinking beer and having a good time.
Do we want to? Oh, I don't know. We've been
How many beers you got now?
Alright, screw it. I'm getting my vodka.
Yeah, I
Bro, make this a real stream, boys.
I don't know if I'm allowed. Wait.
Dude, this.
Wait, are we not?
No,
wait.
Are we not? No, it's one sec. Darren, can I drink?
Can I get?
Right on your table.
Dude, I'd offer to also join you with a beer, but I'd be on the floor in like the next 5 minutes, and that was the case.
I was a
good idea.
Right from the bottle, man. You don't need a glass.
Do we want to do something? Do we want to do something like in game, or like play a different game?
OSRS drinking game. All right, here we go.
Nah.
Every death in LMS, you gotta take a shot.
Oh, yeah. I don't want people to watch me play LMS. I played LMS on my own stream a while ago, and it was very embarrassing. I don't know.
You guys have got raid gear?
Not on one of my main. I could buy raid gear.
Nah, that's way too much effort. I've got to buy it too, actually.
I could just raid on an iron. It doesn't matter.
PvP is also associated with stuff like staking, gambling, DDoSing, and huge toxicity. Don't be surprised that people don't like you.
That was definitely you, Casper.
Huh?
I'm just gonna copy that message, paste it, and be done with it, I think.
Yeah, wait, 1 second.
There we go. Yep.
Let's juice that one. Juice that one, game it. Oh, wait.
There we go.
Nope,
there we
that's
go.
The wrong message.
Oh, one. Oh yeah, Duel Arena. Coxie mentioned that. So I asked them on their Q&A they had a few days ago. I said on Twitter, they asked a question. I said, we've talked about changing the Duel Arena for a long time now. It's been discussions. It seems like every single year whenever we ask about it. And they responded, Sween, and I can't remember what his name is. Mod Mike D, is it?
Whoa, what is this on my screen?
What do you mean?
What is this?
No, don't look at that.
Where did this come from?
Keep talking about the Duel Arena.
Nah, I didn't sign up for this.
No, keep talking. This is for chat. Keep talking about the Duel Arena. Ignore that.
So they did say that they've been having internal discussions, and they had one this week about the Duel Arena. They didn't say they were removing it. They actually specifically said what they're going to do about it and how they're going to like change it. So from that, it's insinuating that it's not going to be removed. It's going to remain in the game in a different way. How do I feel about that? Dude, I'm scared, because if they don't get it right, I feel like it'll be ignored again, and it's just really bad for the game in general.
I'm personally a big
it's a
fan of
disappointment.
removing it.
It's a disappointment that they've not come to the conclusion they want to. Obviously, I could be wrong. I could have read into that wrong. Maybe they are going to remove that. We don't know yet. If they are deciding not to, that's a bit disappointing when it's been a problem
I
for
just
so many
feel
years.
like the way gambling is on RuneScape, I feel like it doesn't belong in a game like this. Like, even for myself, like I'm 20 and I got a crippling gambling addiction. Like,
oh, is it why you spent $5,000 on Doge last night? You told me about this.
It's gonna hold on, gamers. If you got money in
It's not
Doge,
going.
just hold Diamond
It's
Hat.
not going on.
Diamond Hat.
Oh, actually, you know what? I did actually got
Still standing behind my. Nobody cares. Like, oh, there's toxicity in every part of the game, man. No one cares. Like, legit.
I don't know.
Like, what's the constructive use of being like PvP's associated with X, Y, and Z? Like, PVM's the same. Like, I've seen streamers who are like close to setting like a record in content being like dossed by people from like a rival clan and stuff. Like, I'm not saying like flame or like jump on this guy in chat, but it's like toxicity is literally everywhere in every remotely competitive circle of any remotely competitive game that exists on the entire planet.
And
no one
again,
cares.
It's that argument again that like you blame the people that are involved in that scene as opposed to blaming the enforcement of rules or lack thereof, which has got to let it get to this point in the first place. That's like one of the bigger things about it as well, in my opinion. A lot of problems in the main game do stem from the dual arena too and the real world trade aspects of it.
And unfortunately, like, okay, so say in PVMing, say DDoSing was extremely advantageous for PVMers in X aspect, you would see people doing it almost as much as you see it in PvP. Like, that is just the reason. PVM doesn't have that. PVM doesn't have a reason for you to DDoS somebody to get profits from them. There's never going to be one. It's always PvP related because you can do that.
Can I add to that real quick?
Oblivion DDoS me to win the bingo.
You know, before the death mechanics on old school were reverted, I feel like a lot of people say like, oh, DDoSing only happens in PvP, but it used to happen a lot in PVM until the death mechanics like got changed to the way they are now. People used to DDoS walls so that you could, like, they would scout Godwall's cave.
True.
If someone was doing the boss, you would hit off the world and then wait for that person to die and loot their items. So it's not just PvP, it's just that in PVM, you don't gain anything from it.
Yep.
There was a time where you did gain something from it, and people would do it. So it happens everywhere, trust me.
I think people will be surprised as well when it comes to cheaters too. Like, people always say, oh, PvP's full of cheaters, and it is. Like, especially the high-risk scene, because people have got, like you said, something to gain from it. But I don't think the community knows nearly how bad the clients have gotten in PVM and how long they've been around for. Like, the ones that like show you just everything, like the tick counters and all that kind of stuff, and just make everything, and the auto prayers and all that kind of stuff. It makes the game so trivial. But a lot of the top level PVMers do use third-party clients with really OP stuff on it too.
Wait, we talking about cheat clients?
Yeah, I just mentioned it. We were talking about.
That's where PvP, like PVMers use more cheat clients than PvPers do. Changed my mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'd just say it's easier to notice the PvPers using cheat clients because we report each other. Whilst I feel like PVMers, I don't know. There's not really a way that you could like, how do you report someone for clienting in PVM even? Like, how do you know?
Yeah, in a what's it called, in an instance with four other friends doing PvP.
Like, say you even notice it's not negatively affecting you like it is in PvP, so they still don't report them.
Yeah, man. I was really hoping that the Steam client. Oh my god, that picture's still on my.
I'll change it. I'll change it. Don't worry. I'll just go with that one, whatever.
I went. But I can't remember what I've got to say now. It's gone on my head. Never mind. Sorry.
OZX, my boy, right here.
Sorry. Just can I make a Discord sign up? We do payouts through Match Arena because it's a million times easier. Having like some.
Bless you.
Bless you. We do payouts through Match Arena, and we've always used Match Arena. There's just a bug on their end at the moment If you're having trouble signing up, it should be okay by tomorrow. There's still like plenty of spaces, and like you're in the same boat as everybody else. I'll be tweeting when I have like any news and a fix. Apparently for some people, spam refreshing has worked. If you get like an error message, you should be able to close and just power through. You can't sign up though. Well, some people have managed to, so it's definitely possible, but it's just scuffed right now. There should be a fix coming tomorrow. That goes for all the people messaging me, including the person who DM'd me on Discord saying, fix this for me or you'll get your head top dubbied. Like, it's common. Is it first come, first serve? Yeah, it's the only way I could do it fairly. Like, I can't invite 128 people. I can't invite 32 people because then people will be pissed off. So I have to open it up to 128, then those will fight out, and the top 32 will go through to the actual like broadcast event, and hopefully by the end of it, the best PKer in the region who signed up should win, in theory. It's just like, that's how it like has to be. Like, because we're a third party running tournaments. Well, yeah, I'm doing a pre-tournament, like, for like 128, that's the thing. But you have to understand that, like, it's me doing like all of the admin stuff. And it's quite difficult to, it's difficult to admin a tournament of that size when I'm doing them. I'd happily do more than 128 if I weren't doing the tournaments back-to-back 5 weekends in a row. Like, that's the problem. That's the triple.
I'm trying to decode what Inferno game just.
Oh, it's a friend of mine. Like, Alex. It's a friend of mine called Alex.
That is it's like the oldest.
I'm not just tired.
It's like the oldest internet meme ever. How do you not know that?
I don't know.
Yeah, he asked me the same thing like 30 minutes ago, and I just said yes.
I'm just trying to read it, and I'm like, huh?
I gave a more in-depth response on it.
Yeah, no, your response was great.
I love you, Hootie. Thank you so much for the banger trailer. You're a king.
Yeah, that really was top notch.
It was unreal. Like, it was literally insane.
I would kill to have editing skills even close to that.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, it's filth. I'm probably gonna show it one more time before we end. I was
Oziak,
say,
by the way, is winner.
game.
You reckon Oziak?
Wait, what is this? Who would win?
Oh, easy win.
Yeah, if you put these 4 into the UFC octagon,
Oziak,
who comes out on top?
Oh my god. He's got the room played by. He's the only one with armor.
Yeah,
Have you seen the dad's bot? His gut is just gonna 1v3
Oh,
it.
I don't.
Exactly.
Queen Ella Maria just slaps the king about. I don't know, dude. I think she's spooky.
Well, yeah, but the king is a king's a pansy, man. Come on.
I wouldn't mess with
Searching brain for other word beginning with P.
Damn it! Why'd you figure me out that quickly?
Yeah. I mean, Eleanor literally led like a rebellion against like an
yeah,
entire,
she stood up against the king and all that. She's got guts.
Here's the beer gut though. Come on, he could just slap that at somebody. They'd go 10 feet.
I love that. Are there any other?
Oziak's the room plate body dual arena scammer to be thrown out.
Lumbridge Cook is just a mess up, man. Like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing with his life.
Yeah, but Lumbridge Cook has food, so he's got an unlimited supply of getting his HP back.
Well, yeah, the best he's got is bread, though. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, true.
He can't combo eat. He's done.
Is there any other example in the entire game of like a model like that on a plate body? I mean, there's Guthan's kind of, but that doesn't really count.
I think Guthan's they just recolored and then just put it. It was a room plate body. They just recolored, wasn't it?
And took off the plates like on the shoulders and the arms.
Yeah. I don't know, what a unique fellow. I like that man.
Who is vaping? I need answered. I've been confused for hours now.
Oh, that's my fiance.
Ah, there we go.
I'm not vaping. That was terrible, sorry.
I think
it took a while actually.
Yeah, it took a while for my brain to, I was like, yeah, I know. Like, and then, never mind.
I still haven't clocked it.
Yeah, it's Caroline in the background.
It was bloater.
Oh, is there anything else we want to talk about? I mean, I know Westham said beforehand if we go more than 3 hours, I'm just gonna leave, and we've been going more than 3 hours.
I just cracked a monster. We're fine. What?
Westham,
Westam's
just getting more and more reclined in his chair.
Can we make this
gradually disappearing out of the camera?
Can you make this a weekly thing, Mr.
Weekly?
Mildly? Well, maybe if you don't want to host it, someone else could host it one week. If you've got
I can be the host.
plans. It doesn't have to be on the weekend either. It could be any day you fancy it.
Yeah.
Maybe not weekly, just a bit more often. I've really enjoyed talking to you guys about RuneScape and just having a little chin wag together with the Twitch chat as well. It's been a really wholesome, fun experience, just chilling out, gaming.
Yeah. I think that'd be great.
We've had some nice conversations.
Yeah, I want to do this more. I was just tired today.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long one.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Sorry, I'm getting so many DMs about.
Wait, have you still got your tree up, Casper?
Right, okay.
Welcome to the conversation, Ian.
Man.
I'm lazy. Okay,
That's to be fair.
it's the only decoration in my house that I actually spent time on.
Oh,
so
it
I'm
looks
not
lovely.
taking it down.
It looks lovely. Don't let anyone say otherwise.
Also, we have cats underneath.
My mother actually gave me some RuneScape themed ornaments for my little tree that I had for Christmas. Like it's got a Zuck ornament, a Rune Skimmy ornament, Inferno Cape ornament. It's pretty sweet.
Nice. I've collected so much RuneScape memorabilia over the years of like casting and in general buying things from other people. Got some chinchompers here. Can't wait to move out and stack them all on a shelf, a nerd shelf.
I think all I have is the Runefest rubber ducky in my shower. That's about it.
Oh, I've got something cool.
I've got a red one too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually,
nice.
beg if Runefest doesn't like happen this year, I'm gonna be so depressed.
Yeah, same.
Very
nice.
I got bad news for you, King. Like,
what?
I don't think COVID's going away.
Oh yeah, that's.
What do you mean? There's vaccines?
Yeah, there's
rolling out.
vaccines going. My grandparents just got it.
Oh no, my monitor's turned off. I can't see anything.
Wait, hold up. Aiza, is this confirmed news?
Guys, look at this cool thing. Shout out to Impling Only. She makes a really nice YouTube series, but she also makes these cool RuneScape designs, and this is one of my Twitch emotes.
Oh, let's go.
You should totally check her out.
Sick.
Yeah, you've got some top.
Eddie.
You've got some top-notch emotes, honestly.
She's great. Shout out Charlotte.
Not to be a downer, but all I will say is, as a biochemistry grad, I would also be shocked if RuneFest went on this year in the UK.
Wait, Aiza,
Really?
Runefest been?
If it does go on, you mean? You say?
Okay, nah. Honestly, if Runefest is binned, I'm in the bin too, man.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
TwitchCon
actually,
one.
Ben,
TwitchCon
since
year
you're
was
here,
meant to
can I get into the content creator lounge this year, please? I also want free drinks, man.
Did I give you an ENH?
No, I asked for one, and you were like, "Oh, I don't have enough."
Wait, there's a lounge?
Sling me your address right now.
Oh, I'll say it on stream. I live in Swedenville, 52B.
Swedenville 52B. There you go. Docs live on stream. Again, for everybody messaging me about not being able to sign up, there's a fix coming. Spam refresh. If there's any error messages, force your way through, close them, try spam refreshing, and I'll tweet tomorrow. If there's any fixes that have come through. That's all I got. That's all I got on that front. I mean, at least, you know, like 20 plus people have already signed up for EU. So fingers crossed. Exclamation mark Method Mayhem in chat if you want to sign up or read more about the event. Show the trailer at some point later on. If Casper's already opened another mod, what do we fancy doing? What's some other? Anybody else got any creatives they want to plug? Any friends they want to juice?
I reckon we all put 250 mil together and we'll do a 1v1 NH stake tourney.
I see. Casper would like to receive 1 billion GP this evening.
I can contribute about 3 mil.
I need my money back, bro. Jason traded an account called Westham Wish my 1 bill.
Well, that's surely he owes you 1 bill now. It's his fault, like.
There's no way that happened, man. Surely not.
It happened, bro. We were in call on stream, and he goes, "Wait," and I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "I've just traded the wrong guy 1 bill." And I see Westham Wish just run out the door, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh,
bro, that's a bill. That's so much. Yeah, we go 3.5 hours. Like, what do we want to do, boys? Because
I'm pretty knackered, to be honest.
Treading water here. We're treading water. I feel like we should just.
Dogecoin.
I feel like we should wrap up.
Sharp.
Nah, Dogecoin to the moon.
No, dude.
I'm longing
Not
Dogecoin with some friends, just as a joke.
Let's make Mythcoin a real thing. Honestly,
Oh,
who here would invest?
bro, that needs a better name, man.
Mythcoin.
I don't know about Methcoin, bro.
I'd put in 100. Anyone else?
Yeah. 100 pennies.
What the hell?
I think it's the sign that maybe we've been going on a bit.
Yeah, alright. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show the announcement graphic one more time. And then we'll all say goodbye and everyone go to bed.
I just cracked a monster, man.
But it's only 5.
It's 11:15 for us. So in case you missed it last time, here is one more time Hootie Tootie's handiwork with the announcement trailer for our upcoming 1v1 PvP series. There are some issues with the sign-ups at the moment, but they will be fixed, and some people are still getting in. So fingers crossed. If you're scalping your entry spot, I applaud you. That's galaxy brain. Very smart. This time I'm telling you, there we go, it works now.
Booty is so handsome.
There it is.
It really is.
2-0 for West Ham progressing through to the next round.
Oh, who's that?
He went above and beyond on this one.
Auto block, camping
Look at
that
that
tank
glow.
very well, not taking too much damage. Lemon Lime just took a bolt off prayer.
You're pretty good at editing too. Casper. You make some
Look
sick
at this,
edits.
he's completely taking control of it. The third.
I was
There's
thinking about
another
taking
redemption
like
from I'm So
a-
Happy. He still
that
has 3
redemption's
doses
so
of Restore
nice.
as well. He can still keep this in. Goes for the claw, 25 damage coming in. Both players use a redemption, and I'm So Happy's gonna take it at the end.
That was so close that time.
Very good here for Mario. This
love that redemption.
Wow, look at this. In 3 hits. 40, 30, 30.
Huge prize pool. Yeah, decent first one.
It's massive, considering it's not like even a Jagex tourney.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, like, so obviously, like, the issues with sign-ups aren't ideal. The fact that we have to run, like, a qualifier, like, on the weekday before, like, it's part of what comes with being, like, a third-party event organizer. Like, it's difficult, but it is what it is. Hopefully, it'll get better over time, we'll get better at it. But yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, the Trailblazer tournament ran smoothly once everybody was in. It was difficult, but it ran smoothly. So fingers crossed this is the same. All of the details are here. There is a tweet on Twitter at Method. You can also type !Method Mayhem in the chat for more details, all the sign-up links, etc. Is there anything else you guys want to plug before I leave? Do we want to raid somebody? I don't know if I'm allowed to. If anybody from Method is watching, am I allowed to like raid or host somebody? Is that a thing I'm allowed to do?
Lake's live, I think.
Is Lake live? Why is he live? We're doing a pod. Lake. No, I'm joking.
Lake is indeed live.
He's doing Nightmare, still looking for his final piece. I think he's like 3,000 dry.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I'm just, I'm gonna.
I don't get what's so hard. I did like 40 of them and I got it.
Why didn't he just get the drop, man? Come on.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming out and spending 3 hours talking about nothing. Tedious for getting
it's fun.
progressively drunker over the course of the evening.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'd like to do this way more.
The delivery.
I had a really nice time.
I'd be keen to do it more
Yeah.
often. If you guys wanna see them more often, or like if there's like a weekday that works for people or something, like I don't know, let me know on Twitter or in chat now, and maybe I'll see about finding the time to do them more often. It's just difficult because it's like a commitment from all of these guys or like any of the other Method gamers. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying me, right?
Well.
Right?
Yeah. Not for this.
Yeah, sure.
Like.
Matt, why am I hit? I'm out.
Thanks so much for coming, everybody.
I'm a charity case.
Right, I'm gonna throw
Thank you so
up-
much, Ben, as well, for
thanks,
hosting,
man.
mate. Done a really good job. It's
Yeah,
your
shout
first
out, Ben. He's done
ages,
great.
yeah. Really
Yeah,
held it
this
together when we were all
this
just sitting here.
This should have been Ron. Ron's a host. I'm a
Ben, I
degenerate.
love you,
Nah, you
even
did-
though
you
I
did
crab
beast,
you a
mate.
lot.
You do crab me an awful lot, that is true. But yeah, so thank you to Purespam, Westham, PoisonedPotion, Tedious. All of the links are in the chat. If you type !Purespam, !Westham, !PoisonedPotion, or !Tedious in the chat. Also !Method Mayhem for any details about the tournament coming up. !Announcement if you wanted to know that we were doing an announcement earlier this stream, but we've already done one. Giveaway if you wanted to know that we were doing a giveaway earlier this stream, we've already done one. Thanks for coming, hanging out. I'm going to go to the outro scene.
Jesus.
Yeah, let's go! I'm going to go to the outro scene, and then we're going to host Mr. Nightmare himself, Lake. So thanks for coming, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. And if not, then I'll see you on February the 13th with the EU qualifiers. Cheers, gamers.
Let's go.
Hey.